Round one. Fight! The whole thing!
What's up, guys? Welcome to Tier Ranker Fights. This is episode number 47, and this is our comedy championship. It's all come down to this: 5 decades, 5 top 10 lists. We got 50 movies here, so these are the top 10 movies based on our crew from each of those episodes. So if you don't see your favorite comedies in there, well, they didn't get voted, so you can blame the who's ever on the episode for not voting it in. But I'm your host, Jordan Movie Anderson, for tonight, and I will go ahead and introduce our crew for tonight. So first off, we have my co-host, Austin Pez.
Hello, it's time to talk about, as Mark Ellis would say, comedies.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, no, it's another championship. This is our second one. We've had our horror championship, which was very tough and very stressful, but a lot of fun. And yeah, now it's time to talk comedy championship. This should be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. We also have with us tonight Brother Lomas. How's it going?
It is wonderful. It is wonderful. Excited to talk about Glass Eyes here tonight.
Right? Yeah, we're excited to have you back because I know you were pretty crucial for our 80s comedy. I know you're big on 80s, but big on comedies in general. So, yeah, so welcome. We also have joining us Jacob Barber.
Grandma, put the weasel down. Oh, hey guys. Sorry about that.
What's going on at your house?
Grandma's getting the weasels again.
Dang it. You gotta hate that.
Yeah.
Well, welcome. We also have joining us Moose Haas.
Hello. First off, if your favorite movie didn't make this list, don't blame me. I voted for The Burbs, okay?
Yeah.
Me too.
I had no part in any of the
That
top 10 lists, so I'm just here as a fill-in.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then also, last but certainly not least, we have Jordan Owens joining us. Hey.
Jacob's grandma, put the weasels down. She doesn't listen. She doesn't.
I don't know what her fascination is with weasels.
Gosh. Yeah, so, but this tier ranker tonight, it's not going to be easy because we're going to have to rank some of these movies because we want to acknowledge that they're all S tiers. Every single one of these once made an S tier, but we're going to have to rank some of them in the A tier, the B tier, even the D tier, like some of those tiers just compared to the greatest comedies of all time and what we have on the list. So don't be too disappointed if some of these get ranked a little lower than they normally would. We acknowledge that they're all S tiers for their respective decades. So that's kind of what we're shooting
I
for.
acknowledge nothing.
And this is the definitive list. The opinion of the 6 of us is final.
That's it. It's final.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Don't
exactly.
ask anyone else.
Well, Austin, as the co-host, do you want to break it down how it's going to work?
Yeah, so this is the championship. So we took our top 10 from each of the decades that we did. as far as our comedy episodes, so 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and 2010s. And so we've got 50 movies to choose from on this, what it is, the championship, the best of the best. And like Jordan said, we all acknowledge that these were once S-tier films, but not all of them will make it this time. We are looking for 10 in the S-tier as well this time, and you are literally ranking them against the entire list. So it's not just, comedies in general. It's against the other stuff on the list. We'll be looking for 10 in the S tier, and we'll still have 3 in the honorable mentions from the A tier as well. But we'll start at the bottom of the ladder. So we'll start with Jordan Owens, and you can nominate any movie you want for any tier from the list, and give it about a minute or so. Give us why, and everybody will go around the horn and get everybody's opinion as to whether they agree or disagree, whether or not it belongs in the tier that's ranking. And hopefully about the 2-hour mark or so, we'll kind of wind it down. We'll start the wrap-up process. We'll hit the Hail Marys kind of final last chance round and see if anything gets in there last minute. And we'll wrap things up and see what we come with is our 10 greatest comedies of all time. So let's do it, guys. Have a little fun.
Yeah. So it should be a fun time.
And I'm in the right place finally.
Yeah, right. I had to switch it up because
right.
since you're a partner in my StreamYard, you automatically show up in the number 2 slot, just automatically. So,
yeah.
I like being number 2. It's too much responsibility.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so as always, we always start at the bottom of the ladder. We work our way up, and as you guys are going through your first picks, I'll copy and paste the list into the private chat so you guys can all see it. But yeah, so we'll start with Mr. Jordan Owens. You'll be up first, so I'll just do a little slow scroll, and you can kind of see what we have, and it's gonna be tough. So
You're good. You might have to keep scrolling for a second because I'm gonna go with Party on Wayne, Party on Garth, the best SNL movie, Wayne's World. I find it super rewatchable, so much fun, so charming, quotable. I love the multiple endings. Always a favorite of mine. I just gotta go with the man. I'm following my heart. S tier, Wayne's World.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, Moose, what do you think for Wayne's World?
Yeah, I like Wayne's World. It's a great movie. I rewatched this one probably 30 times in my lifetime, and found it humorous and enjoyable every time. I mean, if we're going for the all-time greats, I don't know if it's S tier. I'd probably put this at like a solid A, maybe B plus. But yeah, hey, I got nothing to bash against Wayne's World. I love it. If there's plenty more on this list that I think are deserving of the S tier, so I'll give it an A.
Yeah.
An A? Okay.
Definitely. Well, Brother Lomas, what do you think for Wayne's World?
I'm feeling salty tonight. I'm going with a C on this bad boy.
Ooh.
Mike Myers had an hour and 15 minutes of good comedy in his body, and he did not pour it out in this film.
All right. Fair enough. Well, Jacob, what do you think?
I like Wayne's World. I think it's funny. It is quotable, but it's not one that I've revisited very often. I mean, when I do watch it, I have a good time, but since I don't revisit it as often, I'd give it a solid B.
Yeah, sounds good. Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think I even voted for it in the S tier on our 90s show because I'm not as high on Wayne's World as a lot of other people. I think it's fine. It's entertaining when you do watch it. A lot of good little references, but it's not one I personally go back to either a lot. I think I put it on the B tier on that show, and I'll stick with it for this show. I'm going to go B tier.
Yeah. Well, for me, so I'm using my letterbox list that I made to kind of help me out here, and I would give it an S tier. I freaking love Wayne's World. I think it's hands down the best Saturday Night Live movie. It's so rewatchable. It's so quotable. Like swing or she will be mine. Oh yes, she will be mine. Just like there's a million and one quotes you could go on and on, but yeah, Wayne's World. I'd say S tier. So I'm with you. The 2 Jordans are correct tonight. Just so y'all know.
Well, in your head, but unfortunately, according to the votes, with 2 S's and A, 2 B's and a C, it's not going to sniff the S tier. Sorry, it's going to get shot down to about a minus or a B plus. So that's where it's going to go for now. So
yeah. Well, I mean, we could put it in the A for now because it's the only thing there, and then we'll see if it gets bumped down or not. But yeah. So next up will be Moose. So you got one you want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, there's an obvious one I will talk about later, and I'm sure somebody else will probably bring up. But let's talk Spaceballs, ladies and gentlemen. I absolutely love Spaceballs. I think it is such a fun spoof movie of Star Wars that I can rewatch this movie and laugh every single time. And again, so many quotable lines. And of course, everyone loves the scene where they're combing the desert, right? Come on. That's
Yep.
like one of the funniest like parody scenes. Man, we ain't found shit.
Yep, exactly.
It's so good. Like, I don't know. I love Spaceballs. I love Mel Brooks. This is definitely an S tier for me.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, Brother Lomas, what do you think?
This is definitely an S tier movie. This may be the only truly great Star Wars movie. This is Mel Brooks' best movie.
Yes.
And Dark Helmet is one of the great villains in the history of cinema. It should be in the top 3 when this thing is over. And if not, we're all pathetically awful as a group. Just want to.
All right.
Nice.
We'll see. I don't know if we'll have some varying opinions or not, but we'll see if anyone's pathetically awful. But Jacob, what do you think?
Well, I was gonna put it in the S tier because I really love this movie, but now I'm gonna put it in the S tier because I don't want to be pathetically awful.
Sure, yeah.
I'm fine being awful. I don't want to be pathetically awful.
Yeah, right.
That's like a whole new
There's
level of
that
awful.
fine line you got to walk.
Yeah.
Well, Austin, what do you think?
Well, again, I said I'd be honest to myself, okay? Spaceballs is neither my favorite Mel Brooks movie on this list nor my favorite spoof movie on this list. So if I'm going with that criteria and us trying to be extra picky for this episode, I'm going to slide it down into the A tier because I think there's actually 2 Mel Brooks movies that I think are stronger overall. I think there are spoof movies that are stronger overall on this list. And while I love Spaceballs and I voted for it in the S tier when we came to our 80s comedy show, this is the championship and I'm being extra picky. So I'm going to go with A tier for Spaceballs.
Yeah, and I'm kind of with you, Austin. We got to be a little pickier on this episode, and there's one Mel Brooks movie that would put above this one, and also, I mean, just the sheer like amount of just great, hilarious movies we have here. I think that I actually have to put it down in a B tier for me. So that is my ranking, but it is great though. I mean, like, what can you say that hasn't been said about Spaceballs? I mean, just one of the all-time great spoof movies, but I mean, for this list, for me, it makes B. So,
Jordan?
Yeah, I like Spaceballs a lot, but kind of following the last 2 sentiments. I don't know if it's quite S, but it's a high A for me. I can't deny it, though. So A for me.
Yeah. Well,
Enjoy pathetically awfulness, guys.
yeah.
Right.
Right.
We're all gonna have to live with this now because of you.
Yep.
Moose is leaving the building.
Forgot
We
my
have a couple
office has
S
motion
tiers.
sensors.
Got a couple
I thought
S's,
you
a
were
couple
just
A's,
mad
Well-
and trying to leave.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that too.
So I think that it kind of ends up at the top of A, probably, is where I'm thinking.
Yeah, here's the thing. So when it comes to the championship, for the most part, for something to make it in the S tier, it needs to be fairly overwhelming. Like, it doesn't have to be a straight shot across the board, but it probably needs to be at least a majority, like a 4 out of 5 situation. So while we have 3 S's, 2 A's, and a B, it's kind of on the border, but it might for now slide into the top of A. And we'll see if it can get the bump. If nothing else gets the bump, it might.
Might get a bump.
But yeah, we will see how it ends up overall. But kind of how we did it for the horror championship, the stuff kind of needed to have like 4, 5, 6 S tiers, to be overwhelming for the S tier. So if we're going by that criteria, which we kind of are. So for a championship. But
yes, unless the
we'll see
trend
where it
is
ends up.
we're all in total disagreement, then we'll have to kind of split some hairs here, but we'll kind of see how it goes. But
All right, Brother Lomas.
All right, I'm going to try to shake off the salt, get the rest of the salt out for the evening. And I'm going to go with Bridesmaids, and I'm going to put it at an F. I have tried to watch this movie twice. The furthest I have made it in.
Oh, you said F.
He said
okay.
F.
Yeah.
I have put this thing on twice. The longest I have made it in was an hour, and I have yet to laugh in the 2 attempts to watch this movie. So unless the last 30 minutes of this movie were the funniest thing in history, and the first hour and a half sucked so bad I couldn't get to it, it's going F and staying F for me.
All right. Well, fair enough. Jacob, what do you think?
I haven't actually seen Bridesmaids yet, so I have nothing to say on this one.
Sure, yeah. That's all right. Austin,
take a shot. Jacob hasn't seen a movie. Take a shot.
Yep. Yeah.
Hey, don't take like big shots, because I might say that 14 more times.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. I think on our 2010s episode, I didn't even have this one in S tier personally. I think I was just kind of outvoted. I still gave it like it was either A or a B. I can't remember exactly. My big problem with the movie is that I think the ensemble is very funny. I think it's Melissa McCarthy, probably her best role, because she's more of a supporting role in that one than a leading, which I feel like she's stronger. And the movie's too long. It's 2 hours and 5 minutes. It's too long for a comedy. I have the same problem with some Judd Apatow films. I think a really nice comedy should be a tight 90, 100 minutes max. And, you get in, you get the laughs, you get out. And I think the story is not strong enough to drag that long, and it kind of loses steam. So while I won't be as hard as Brother Lomas, I'll stick it in the C tier as far as for the championship.
Yeah, I think me and you are kind of on the same page tonight, Austin, because I don't love it. I also agree that it's too long, and I like the ensemble. The only solo person that really makes me laugh solo is just Kristen Wiig. Everyone else is just funny when they're together for me. But I do really like Kristen Wiig as her scenes with Chris O'Dowd too, and there's some good stuff, but I'm with you on the C tier. I think that it belongs in C as far as this list goes, so I'll say C. Jordan?
I do agree it's not an S, but I think you guys are being a little harsh on it. Although I see what you're saying, if we're really trying to even make it harder this particular game, this is the all-time. So I definitely would go. I still would go higher than a C. I'd say at least a B. I think it's a little bit better than what you guys are giving it credit for.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, Moose, what do you think?
You guys are crazy. Bridesmaids is awesome. This movie's so freaking funny. I'm sorry that it's an all-female cast and you guys can't get past that, you pricks. This movie is so freaking funny. Melissa McCarthy in this movie is great. When all of the bridesmaids are together, agreed. It's comedy gold. And sure, I will agree that it does get a little too long. There are some sequences that maybe take a little bit too long. There's one sequence where she's giving the maid of honor speech that is one of the most uncomfortable scenes I have ever watched in movies, but it's so freaking funny uncomfortable. I love it. I'm going to give Bridesmaids an A. It's definitely not the greatest of all times, but I do love Bridesmaids. It's one I revisit with my wife every year, so I'll give it an A.
Yeah, well, we're kind of all over, I guess. A, B, C.
Hey, to be fair, Moose, I gave it an A on the actual episode. Again, I'm just grading this as the overall list. When I put it in the C tier, again, we're literally grading against the entire list. So just to be fair. But yeah, with the grades, we got an A, B, 2 C's, and an F. So right in the middle, C sounds about right, kind of average, right in the middle. So
got a little, gonna be a little pickier tonight. So yeah.
Whoa!
So,
all right,
Brother Lomas. Apparently, you were putting a brick wall in front of. Do that again in front of the camera.
Oh, okay. Whoa. Nice.
That's crazy.
That's cool.
Mr.
Jacob,
Pepper.
you're up.
Yeah.
You want to go
Let's
for?
see. You can stop. I see
Okay.
it. I'm gonna go with what I believe to be the funniest movie that I've seen. I'm not gonna say the funniest movie of all time because I've not seen every comedy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
All right.
I love this movie. Not only is it my favorite comedy of all time, it's in my favorite movies of all time. I absolutely love this. I think it's endlessly quotable. It's just absolutely funny. The cast is fantastic, and I can rewatch this any day of the week and laugh just as much as I did the first time I watched it. So I definitely think Holy Grail is an S tier movie, and I hate that Austin is going after me.
Right.
I'm not gonna go after. Look, I'm not gonna go after you. I'm just not as high on Holy Grail. I'm not as high on Holy Grail as the entire world seems to be. I think it's a fun, silly movie. It's worth a watch every now and then. I don't get the obsession over it. I on the same episode that we did, I claim that there was another Monty Python movie, namely Life of Brian, that I think is a funnier, more poignant, better satire movie than Holy Grail and better written. I just am not as high on Holy Grail as everybody else. I think I had it on the B tier in that episode, so I'm going to stick with that for this episode and put Holy Grail in the B tier. But I fully acknowledge that I might get outvoted on that one. So I do recognize the, that I'm the outlier on that one.
Yeah. I'm kind of in the same boat again, Austin. I think that Monty Python and the Holy Grail is great, and when I first saw it, I didn't really understand it. Like I didn't really care for like the really dry British humor on my first watch. So I actually owned a copy and I gave it away to someone because I'm like, I don't really get this movie. Here, you want this movie? But then I gave it multiple rewatch because people kept insisting that I was wrong, and so I rewatched it and actually really, really enjoyed it. Like I've actually come to love it a lot. Like, what is your favorite color? Like that whole scene, or like the killer bunny when the animator has a fatal heart attack. Like, well, there's some really good stuff that make me laugh pretty hard. But again, we have to be a little pickier for this championship. So I think I'm right with you on a B. I'll say B.
You should really start thinking for yourself, Jordan.
Well, I'm trying. I'm trying. We're just on the same wavelength, me and Austin tonight. But Jordan?
I love this one. I thought about mentioning it last time, but like Jacob said, I was afraid Austin was going to screw us. So I figured it was going to not get in there. But I think it's great, man. I love it. So let's hopefully those lower grades will be just a flesh wound. I agree with S tier.
I see what you did there, Jordan.
Get it? Puns, baby.
Flesh wound.
Just a flesh wound, yeah.
It might squeak in if everybody else gives it an S. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But, we'll see.
We'll see. What do you think?
Moose?
I have seen this, and this is, again, another one where I really wanted to try to understand why people hold this in such high regard. And I love British humor. And I agree, there's a ton of endless quotable lines in this movie, but I also don't see the obsession that people have with this. I have a friend of mine, Kyle, him and his dad, without fail, every single time the two of these get together, all they do is just quote lines back and forth to each other. And so I don't know.
It brings families together.
But I also feel like it's played out in not a good way. Because if it doesn't hit with you, then all you're just hearing is lines that aren't funny to you, but funny to someone else. So for me, it's not a bad movie. I enjoy it, but it's not like a classic for me in the neighborhood of like all-time comedies I'll revisit. So I'll give it a B tier.
Yep. Sounds good. Brother Lomas, what do you think?
I am with Moose and Austin on this one. That it's a funny movie. Like I won't get annoyed if somebody puts it on, but I do not understand people's love for it. I don't even understand the particular obsession with quoting it. So to me, it goes in B. It's under Wayne's World, and I didn't have Wayne's World at an A, so it goes in B.
Sure, yeah. Sounds good. Well, we got 3 B's and 2 S's, right? Is that what we're at? Or
4 B's and 2 S's. So
4 B. So kind
um,
of tends to.
it's kind of
the
yeah,
one, the
maybe like
B.
bottom of A tier right now, actually, or top of B, something like that. Because we do give a little bit of leeway to the people who nominated it, but
Yeah. So
so
we put it
maybe
at
the bottom of A. Yeah,
the bottom of the A. I think
let's
that's
slide down a
fair.
little. Yeah, let's slide down a little bit.
Yeah.
See what happens.
We'll that for now, but you never know.
Wayne's
Like,
World? Are you kidding me?
well, has the potential to make an honorable mention, maybe even get bumped up. You never know. So, but
Mhm.
Austin, you're up.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with one that I was alluding to. That is my personal favorite comedy of all time. I think it's the one that has aged the best. It has addressed issues in the funniest way you possibly could. It's Mel Brooks's best movie. I'm gonna go with Blazing Saddles. I think Blazing Saddles is pound for pound, joke for joke, scene for scene, one of the funniest comedies of all time. Just I mean, the opening song to the opening at the train yard, telling everybody to dance and sing, all that stuff is a lot of fun. Cleavon Little and Gene Wilder's chemistry is incredible in this movie. Their interactions with the racist town, but addressing racism in a way where all the racists in the town are morons, as Gene Wilder says, and that's the funny thing is that they're all buffoons, and is addressing this stuff but in a fun way. I think Cleavon Little's performance, especially the stuff where he's pointing the gun at himself, oh Lord, he's desperate to do what he said, all that stuff is just like it's a great comedic performance. All the side characters, a lot of fun. Mongo and Hedy Lamar, all that stuff is great. Even Mel Brooks is funny as the governor. So I'm going to go with the one I think has aged the best and is still pound for pound the funniest Mel Brooks movie. So Blazing Saddles for S tier.
Well, Austin, you're not going to be happy with me because I had to be super strict and looking at my letterbox list just compared to everything else that I have. Like Blazing Saddles just like doesn't really hold up for me. It's just like I mean, it has its moments that are fine, but like I just don't really find myself really laughing. And I love Gene Wilder and I love Mel Brooks, like all of that. But like on this list though, like there's way more that I laugh at more, and I'm actually pretty low on Blazing Saddles. I got to give it a D. Like I'm actually that low.
Good God Almighty!
So,
for Blazing Saddles for his best movie. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Good God.
But on the actual episode, I gave it an A. But I mean, for here, I got to be picky. So, but Jordan, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give it an A. I think there's some stuff. Most of it still really works, but if we're being picky, I'd still say it's got to be an A.
Yeah, sure. Moose, what do you think?
I do enjoy Blazing Saddles. I don't think it is funnier than Spaceballs, but that's just the nerd in me liking to make fun of Star Wars. But I do think Blazing Saddles deserves a spot on top of the heap because I do think for the time the movie was so freaking funny, and this is one of those movies I explored quite a bit when I was younger. I'm going to put Blazing Saddles in an A. I definitely think it deserves to be at least in the top 2 categories for movies. And, just watching Mongo punch a horse is worth it. So, yeah, definitely A tier.
Yeah. Well, Lomas, what do you think?
I'm going to go B. It is a very funny movie. If it wasn't a championship bracket, I'd put it in an A. And also in like a weird way, Spaceballs is weighting it down. Like for me personally, I think Spaceballs has aged a lot better than Blazing Saddles, and I can revisit Spaceballs a lot more than Blazing Saddles. So right now I'm kind of using that as if we've settled it, Spaceballs is an A, I'm sort of using that as the meter that I'm judging the other ones by. And to me, it's one step below Spaceballs.
Yeah, fair enough. Jacob, what do you think?
Yeah, I was actually thinking the same thing. I do enjoy Spaceballs just a little bit more than Blazing Saddles. Had Spaceballs made the S tier, I would say, so I'll give it a high A.
Yeah. So what are the votes? Got some
An
A's,
S,
some
3
S.
A, B, and you're D, Jordan. I think I'm gonna quit the
Yeah.
channel after this. Like,
Sorry.
insanity. Sorry.
We-
I don't know how the
Should have
number.
go through Spaceballs.
Yeah,
I don't know how the number one of our 70s episode, number one, is
Number
gonna get
one,
knocked
yeah.
out. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah,
That makes a lot of
yeah.
sense.
Well,
Yikes.
maybe it wasn't number one for everyone, but yeah. So
It
probably
was a sweep for the S tier. That's how it made number one on the 70s episode. It was a sweep.
Oh, so for the 70s, yeah, actually.
Yeah, but there were better
Like, you
movies
give it
in
an
the
S
other
tier, then.
following decades.
Yeah, right.
Oh my god.
So does it move down
Jesus
to an
Christ.
A or even a B? I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel like B is about
No.
appropriate.
How is it a B
votes, I
though?
don't know.
One S and 3 A's and a B, and then your only D is the only thing weighing it down.
Well, the D, yeah, that's what weighs it down is what I'm saying.
Let's
But-
Yeah, but there's overwhelmingly positive though.
yeah. We can leave it in the A tier. I mean, I'm not mad about it. I still like the movie. I mean, I'm not saying I don't like it. It's just a championship episode.
I don't like it. It's just a
That'd be
D.
hard.
That's fine.
Yeah,
It's a near failing grade, but it's
Well,
fine. Okay. Anyways,
compared
go
to
ahead,
all the
Jordan.
other
You tell me what's S tier. You go ahead.
Okay. I'm just working for my S tiers, my like top of the top. So I got to go with the movie that I consider to be the funniest movie ever made, and I've seen this movie about 50 or 60 times, and I laugh hard every single time, and I can pretty much quote the movie from beginning to end. I got to go with Dumb and Dumber. Dumb and Dumber is an absolute S tier for me. Absolute, like it's just so good. Just the dynamic between Harry and Lloyd, and it's a great road trip movie. There's even a little bit of a weird romance in there. Like I've even dressed up in the suits with one of my friends at a dance. So yeah, like Dumb and Dumber is for sure an S tier for me. So see what you guys think. Jordan?
Yeah, it's really good. There's actually other Jim Carrey movies that are a little bit more near and dear to my heart. I'm gonna give it a B.
Yeah, fair enough. A Moose?
So the majority of Jim Carrey movies, I find him to be way over the top, and he's way over the top in this movie.
Way.
But
Yep.
for whatever reason, it works in this movie and it doesn't in others. And I love Dumb and Dumber. I absolutely think that this is an S tier movie. I don't think this will be the like funniest movie on the list, but I absolutely. I mean, this is Peter Farrelly, right? Who directed this? Yeah, the chemistry between Harry and Lloyd. I too have worn a Dumb and Dumber suit in my life. I too could probably go toe for toe with you on quoting the movie from start to finish.
Yeah.
I do think that this is an S tier movie. I think there are others that are going to be funny, but this definitely deserves a shot on top of the heap. So I'm going to give it an S.
Yeah, sounds good. Brother Lomas, what do you think?
I'm of two minds of this movie. I remember, like, when I saw this in the theater, I remember like laughing myself sick. But I also don't think it has held up at all. Like, if I watch it again now, I'm like, oh my God, this is stupid. And so, like, now I would say it's a B. When I first saw it, I would say it's an S. So I'm going to split the difference and put it in an A.
Well, stupid in a great way, though, right?
Well,
But
it is called Dumb and Dumber. I mean, they're not trying to screw you.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they're not trying to pull the wool over your eyes. To be fair.
Right. Well, Jacob, what do you think?
Yeah, I love this movie. I think it's hilarious. I think it does hold up. It's still funny. I could watch this. I don't think it's quite as funny as maybe Monty Python and the Holy Grail, but
Here we go. We got Chris Chime, S tier.
So yeah, I'll give it an S tier. I think it deserves to be in the top 10.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm Austin. What do you think?
I'll give it an S tier only if you owe me a Blazing Saddles rewatch, Jordan, when you come visit me in September, and I will show you why this movie is an S tier. So I'll throw you an S
I've only
tier.
seen it once, So yeah.
Yeah, I did on that episode. I do think it holds up. It's a quotable movie that it hits you in subtle ways, like with some of the jokes throughout the movie, not just the over the top moments, but some of the little jabs here and there that you catch on like a second, third watch, things like that, which is one of the reasons it's kind of great. So I'll give it an S tier, but it would probably be a lower S tier for me, like overall. But I'll still put it up there.
Well, I feel like it got enough S tiers to stay up.
It's
there,
got 4 S's, which is kind of the criteria, for the moment, even with the A and the B. So it might be a low S tier, but it's probably the first one that kind of scoots in for now because it's higher than Spaceballs. So, so it'll probably stay there for now. We'll see where it ranks overall.
Sounds good. So we're back down to Jordan. What do you want to nominate?
All right, let's see here.
Keep scrolling.
Alrighty, let's go with I think an R-rated classic, 40-Year-Old Virgin. I just think the laughs per minute here are here. Great eclectic cast. Still funny, good rewatch. Help jumpstart Steve Carell and even that whole cast really kind of give them all a boost here. I'm gonna say S tier for 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah, sounds good. Moose, what do you think?
Objectively speaking, I do very much enjoy the 40-Year-Old Virgin. Some of the jokes don't necessarily hit. Like, I laughed when I saw them the first time, and then rewatching them again, I know what to expect. So I don't find the jokes as funny like the second or third time rewatching the movie. But I do think it was absolutely solid. I agree. It launched Steve Carell. At this point he was doing The Office, but then this really kind of took him to that next level of stardom. Good supporting cast, Seth Rogen, Paul Rudd in this one. So I will give this one a solid A. But I do think that upon rewatch, some of the jokes just don't hit as funny as the first time that they did.
Yeah. Sounds good. Lomas, what do you think?
I'm going to go with a low B. A low B.
Ooh.
Like,
all right.
this whole like little group that made this a handful of films together, like they're just not for me. Like they're all right, but like I have no desire to ever watch the 40-Year-Old Virgin again. Like my only motivation to watch it is to try to pick out that guy that was like went to prison for killing all those people because I can't remember who he was. But like beyond that, I have no desire to see this movie again ever.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Well, the guy who in the movie, the Middle Eastern guy, the guy who goes, "Hey, what did Grace back to where he like stabbed his wife or something like that to death or something." That guy. Yeah,
Crazy.
He's just like a side character, but yeah.
No, yeah, I'm looking it up now. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, Jacob, what do you think?
23 times. Sorry, go on, Jacob.
Yeah. Oh,
wow. He stabbed her 23 times?
Wow.
That wasn't accidental.
Apparently 22 wasn't enough.
Yeah, right.
He's a big Michael Jordan fan, so in his defense.
Yeah, right.
Are you really defending this right now, Jordan?
No, I was making a joke is what I was doing, Jacob. Go on, Jacob. What you got?
I'm also gonna give this a B. I don't think I've seen this movie for like 12 years. I can't remember the last time I watched it. I mean, I see clips every now and then of the they show that clip of him with the speed dating card and that's funny, but it doesn't make me want to go back and watch the movie. And then every time I look it up, I see that near 2-hour runtime, and I remember, this movie was like 15 minutes too long, maybe. So, I really enjoyed it the first time I watched it, and even the second time. It's not a movie I'm like, oh yeah, let's go watch the 40-Year-Old Virgin. So, I'll give it a B.
Yeah, sure. Austin, what do you think?
I'll go A for 40-Year-Old Virgin. I do think there's scenes that hold up more than other scenes. It's still a pretty solid overall movie. I think especially the first 45 minutes or so, all the stuff with the guys at the electronic store is actually pretty funny. The poker game, the waxing stuff, all the stuff with Leslie Mann is pretty good. Yeah, I do kind of check out about an hour and 15 minutes in. I almost know the exact time every time in the movie that I check out. It's like when they go to the hibachi restaurant, and it's like I check out right after that because it just gets into the relationship stuff, which just isn't as funny as him dealing with his coworkers and his friends, like trying to get him laid. So I'll still give it a solid A. I think it's a fairly strong movie. But yeah, I'll go A.
Yeah. For me, like I rate this movie pretty high actually because like maybe it doesn't hold up quite so much. I mean nowadays, but I mean the cast is just really really strong for me. Like I'm a big fan of this group actually. Like I love me some Paul Rudd, some Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen, and then also when you throw in Jane Lynch in there playing whatever that like music videos over and over, like George Michael or something like that.
Michael McDonald.
Yeah.
Play this.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, just like over and over again, and then it kind of introduces to the Kevin Hart in one of his like less annoying roles where he's actually pretty funny. So yeah, so I'm pretty high on the 40-year-old version. Like I go back to it quite a bit. I remember the first time I saw the waxing scene, I was laughing myself sick. I mean, afterwards, it probably doesn't hold up quite as well, but the first time was just great. And so, yeah, I am actually going to say S tier for the 40-year-old virgin. So,
okay, so it's kind of split between S, A, and B, 2, and 2. So it'll go into A, literally right in the middle. We're gonna have a lot in the A tier, it looks like. So,
right.
I'm curious at this point. We're 40 minutes in, and we've only got one S tier so far.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what is going to end up in there. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Moose.
Well, Moose, yeah.
It's okay because the next S tier movie is going to happen right now.
Right.
Let's talk Step Brothers, everybody.
Ooh. All right.
Come on. Step Brothers is an S tier movie. It is by far Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly's best collaboration together. And I'm not shitting on Talladega Nights. I love Talladega Nights, but Step Brothers is so much better. I turn 40 years old next year, and for my 40th birthday, I'm going to the Catalina Wine Mixer.
Yes.
It is so freaking funny. This movie is endlessly quotable. This is probably top 3 funniest movies on this list by far, at least in my humble opinion. But come on, dude. Did we just become best friends? Yep. You want to go downstairs and practice karate? Yep. Come on. Everybody knows this movie. It's so good. This is the best drunk movie of all time. Step Brothers, S tier.
Yeah, sounds good. Brother Lomas, what do you think?
Oh, I'm sorry, Moose. You know that I love you. But I'm going to put this in an A for you, even though I don't think it deserves an A.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like Talladega Nights, I thought was really, really funny. But I feel like every movie that Will Ferrell has made since Talladega Nights has just been a less funny version of Talladega Nights. And this is one of those movies. It's funny, but it's still just a less funny version of Talladega Nights.
Yeah. Well, sounds good. Jacob, what do you think?
Guys, I recently moved apartments. The apartment I was living in was really tiny, and now the one I'm in now has so much more room for activities.
Yes.
It is fantastic. Such as watching Step Brothers, because I think this movie is hilarious. I think I'm just going to echo everything Moose said except for the turning 40 part, because I am not.
And you're 50, Jacob.
Not quite there.
No, not 50. So yeah, I'm totally gonna give this an S tier. I think it is hilarious, endlessly quotable, easily rewatchable. So yeah, S tier.
Yeah. Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, I Step Brothers is on my top 10 for this list. I will definitely go S tier as well. It's funny because the movie starts and it's funny even when they are rivals at the beginning of the movie. Going against each other when they are kind of living and hate each other. It's
Yeah.
funny, and then you think when they make the turn and they become best friends that it might lose steam, but it just gets funnier. Like with them just going over the top and being silly friends and doing all the dumb shit that they do with each other, going to the job interviews. I actually think one of the most understated funny things in this movie is Adam Scott as the douchebag, other guy. Like I think he's one of the great movie douchebags of all time. He plays it great, and I like the chemistry between Richard Jenkins and Mary Steenburgen as well. When she has her freak out in the yard, just goes, "What the fucking fuck?" Like I think that shit is just. She's like, I heard my son yell rape. Like that shit is fucking hilarious. So
I'm so not a raper.
yeah, yeah. I think all that stuff is I remember just killing myself in the theater laughing, and I think, and again, it's a good runtime. It's an hour and 38, which again is important for a comedy. It gets in, it gets out, doesn't overstay its welcome. So yeah, I'll agree with S tier for Step Brothers. It makes sense.
Yeah, Step Brothers for me is absolutely an S tier. Like I freaking love Step Brothers. This movie's so good. And Austin, you kind of hit on it. Like one of my favorite parts is just them just annoying the hell out of the parents. Just like when like John C. Reilly's trying to tell some story about the stepmom hitting on him, talking about what his happy trail down to his pubes and all this crazy stuff. He's like, "Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up!" He's just like just going nuts. Like it's just annoying him so much. It's just so good. And there's so many just like little like things that you kind of catch on like rewatches that kind of make me laugh at like different points. Like when he's trying to bury him alive, he's like, "Just let the dirt wash over you. Just let it wash over you." Or when he puts his ball sack on his drum set, he's like, "Did you touch my drum set?" No, I didn't touch it. Like, well, I could have sworn somebody touched it, but yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna say S tier for sure. They have great chemistry, so yeah. And also, this is a movie that like I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel to if they ever wanted to do it. So
yeah, we got Holmes and Watson. I mean, close enough, right?
Yeah, it's just as good. Yeah,
not so much
just as good, right?
Yeah.
Jordan.
Yeah, I'm cool with putting this in the S tier. It was right kind of outside of my 10, but some of the other stuff's not getting in. So absolutely great, funny film. Is rewatchable again. If you haven't seen it in a few months to a year, pop it back in. You'll have just as much fun. So yeah, S tier.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it sounds
so
like it's
it's
gonna stay in the S tier.
5 S's and an A, and it's even above Dumb and Dumber right now. So
Yeah.
As far as the votes, so yeah.
Good, that one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
All right, go back to Brother Lomas for his pick.
Brother Lomas, what you got?
All right. Well, I have who put Annie Hall on this list, but that's neither here nor there, man.
We had to kind of stretch for the 70s.
Okay. I'm going to break my own internal logic, and I'm going to pick a movie that at the time, I think this was the funniest movie at the time. I don't think it holds up very well, and I don't even know that I would enjoy watching it again. But when it came out, I thought it was like the funniest movie in history. And so I'm going to give it an S based on how funny it was in the 90s. I'm going with Tommy Boy.
Yeah. Tommy Boy.
I think like purely in its capsule, it was brilliant. It doesn't hold up. I don't think any of the Chris Farley, David Spade stuff does. But if you view it from the lens of its time, it was genius.
Yeah.
I love Lomas's logic of, I don't think it holds up. It's probably not very good. S tier, one of the 10 greatest of all time. Sounds good. It's just.
But if you listen to his logic and reasoning, I mean, he's not wrong.
Sure.
Yeah, for the time,
Right.
I put it probably an S tier.
All right, Jacob.
Jacob.
But given his logic and reasoning, I'm gonna give it a B. Because
Sure.
it's funny, it's watchable, but am I gonna watch it over any of the movies in the S or A tier right now? Probably not.
Yeah. Well, Austin.
Well, Lomas, Tommy Boy does hold up, and I'm going to give it an S tier because it is Chris Farley's best movie. And the reason it's Chris Farley's best movie is because he does have David Spade as a straight man to play off of, which we saw in some of his later films. While he gives funny performances in a Beverly Hills Ninja type situation, whatever it is, when he has that comedic team, somebody straight to play off of and kind of point out how silly he is or the stuff that he says, how kind of dumb it is. It works, and the physical comedy works when you have that observer on the side. And I think his performance in this movie is both, it's funny, but also there's some good heartfelt moments in it. It's one of Dan Aykroyd's better performances as well when he shows up as the auto parts guy at the end of the movie. Yeah, Ray Zelinsky, he's great. It's one of his better kind of Ghostbusters sort of things. Just as a side character, I think he's great. David Spade is fantastically sarcastic and awesome in this movie, and it's a good road trip movie. And it's one of the better road trip comedies. So I'm actually going to say it does hold up, and I will keep it in the S tier. Lomas.
I put it in the S tier. You're talking to me like I said it was shit.
Yeah,
I know, but you kind of. Well, I mean, you put it in the S tier, but then you kind of said it was shit. Like, it's weird. I'm backing up the more positive part. So
yeah.
I'm just saying you may have stumbled into something. That's all, and I'm gonna back up the positive stuff. All right, Jordan.
But we'll say that I'm a diehard Chris Farley fan. Like, in my opinion, I think that he's the funniest comedic actor that's ever lived. That's just my opinion. Like, I think that I bow down to his comedic just greatness. Like, and I actually like Beverly Hills Ninja as far as like just a Chris Farley performance. I'm not going to say that's better than Tommy Boy. No, absolutely not. But like, Chris Farley just makes me laugh so hard in that movie and in this movie also. And yeah, like, just pretty much like everything that you said, Austin, like how he plays off of David Spade as a straight man, and there's just so many quotable lines. You go on and on and on about it, like just the way that he tries to sell these brake pads, where he's like, you're driving along, all of a sudden you see a big tire on the road. Oh my God, I can't stop. Here's with the other guy, or with our brakes, and then like he lights it on fire, like it. And they're falling off a cliff. Daddy, I have to go to the bathroom. Not now, damn it. Yeah, like just so many great lines. So yeah, like he just makes me laugh. Just like his sheer presence. Like I watch everything that Chris Farley has almost ever done. All his late night appearances, any kind of interviews that he's done, everything on SNL. So for me, this list would not be complete without at least one Chris Farley movie, and this is the only one we got. So we got to put it in this tier, I think. So yeah, but Jordan.
I mean, I'd shake your hand, but brothers don't shake. Brothers gotta hug.
Yeah.
Chris Farley is a tour de force, man. He's so funny. Even when he's not with Spade, I love the stuff with Rob Lowe, whether he's by himself, like you said, talking to himself in that little monologue. It's so great. There's also a nice little bit of heart in this as well, which I think is nice. And yes, I think it does still hold up. I remember a couple years back finding a notebook in Target with a Tommy Boy notebook. They're still selling merch all these years later of this movie. So I'm good with it being an S tier, man. It's a big favorite of mine.
Yeah. Well, Moose.
Tommy Boy may be in my top 64. Spoiler alert. I love Tommy Boy. And there is tons and tons of heart in this movie. When Brian Dennehy, his dad, passes away, that whole segment when he's walking and they're playing Amazing Grace, like, man, that just tugs at the heartstrings. Like, it's the comedy lands big time. I saw this movie in theaters with my dad and my brother, and we revisit it together every year. And every year, my dad makes chicken wings because Tommy liked wingy. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love Tommy Boy. Definitely an S tier. Let's keep it there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, even with the B, we got 5 S's, which is overwhelming. So it'll actually, it's slapped right in between Step Brothers and Dumb and Dumber. So it'll be in the number 2 slot for right now.
Yeah.
At the moment. So with the votes. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right.
So Jacob, you're up. So what do you want to pick?
Well, I think we need to show Mel Brooks some love and get him in that S tier.
I
So
tried.
let's go with Young Frankenstein.
All right, Young Frankenstein.
Like for me personally, this is my favorite of the three that are on this list. I think Gene Wilder and Peter Boyle are fantastic. To just a great movie. A great take on the Frankenstein. Um,
Mhm.
okay, yeah. It's fun to watch year round. Especially I rewatch it every October. It's kind of a lighter watch in the midst of all the horror that people seem to watch during October. Um, but yeah, no, I just for the main reason is to show Mel Brooks some love because I think he does deserve to be represented in the S tier, and if he's not going to get it with Spaceballs or Blazing Saddles, hopefully we can get it with Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, sounds good. Austin, what do you think?
Man, am I conflicted because I like Blazing Saddles and Spaceballs more than Young Frankenstein. So I have to be honest with myself. Like I don't go this back to Young Frankenstein as much as the other two. I do like it. It is a lot of fun. And it may be Gene Wilder's best performance out of the two. But I have to be honest with myself. So I'm going to put it in A tier. I can't go S on this one because I have. Like I said, Blazing Saddles is my Mel Brooks for the S tier, so I just have to be honest with myself. So I'll go A tier.
Yeah, well, I got to be super honest because I had to give these an official ranking, and I did allow myself a little leeway where if it's hovering at that like 11 or 12 spot, that I can kind of give it a little leeway, but I still have it ranked kind of low, like it. But it's sad because I actually really do enjoy Young Frankenstein. Like it's a lot of fun. Like I go back to it quite a bit. But if we're talking this championship list again, then I probably have to like it just hovering around a C or a D as far as compared to these movies on the list. So if I'm going to be generous, I'm going to give it a C, and that's because it's on the border. So I'm going to say C. Sorry. But Jordan?
I'll go a notch above yours. I do agree that it's the third favorite of the three books we've been talking about, so I can't quite say S, but I'll go a B.
Yeah, sounds good. Moose?
Same thing. I'm kind of in the same boat. I mean, of the Mel Brooks movie, Spaceballs is for me the funniest. Maybe followed by Blazing Saddles and then Young Frankenstein. I had watched Spaceballs and Blazing Saddles way more by the time I reached like Young Frankenstein in terms of like a viewing habit. And by that point in time, you had, I don't know, maybe mentally I'd already kind of made up my mind like, okay, this is my ranking on this one. Young Frankenstein is solid. It absolutely deserves its place, at least in the high A tier. So I'm going to give it I'll give it like an A+. I do think it's a very funny movie, but again, as everyone's been kind of pointing out, like I think we have our favorites, and that's kind of the point of our show or of this show and the debate, right? Is to pick your favorite amongst these movies. So
Yeah.
I'll definitely give it an A.
Yeah, sounds good. Brother Lomas, what do you think?
I am right there with everyone else. Like if Spaceballs is the measuring stick, it's underneath Spaceballs, so I'm giving it an A. Like I think other times it would be an A+ or an S, but I have to have it below Spaceballs wherever that is.
Yeah. Well, what are the votes?
So it's going to be right in about mid A. It's got an S, a couple A's, a B, and a C. So probably mid A, something like that. So sorry, Jake. Mel Brooks is not getting the overwhelming love tonight for any of these movies. It just shows that everybody has their own favorite out of those, though. You know what I mean? Like everybody thinks, if you took those three, which are kind of his most popular. I mean, there is one more on the list technically, but I don't think anybody would vote it over those three. If you notice.
True.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to vote Robin Hood Men in Tights over those three, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just wait and see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just wait for it.
You could try. You could try.
A sneeze, brother of a chew.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dave Chappelle.
All right,
No,
so I'm
yeah.
up.
But
Hmm.
Austin, yeah. What do you want to?
All right, I'm gonna shoot my shot for the one that made number one in our 2010s. I'll go with something a little more recent. And I'm gonna go with a movie that I'm a big fan of the filmmaker, other than his MCU movie, and that I alluded to in that tournament. Taika Waititi's What We Do in the Shadows for S
Yeah.
tier. I think it's one of the smartest, funniest kind of. Definitely the best sort of mockumentary since this is Spinal Tap. I think it's just genius what they do with these vampires living their day-to-day life, and kind of how they interact with the outside world, and their interactions with the werewolves, not swearwolves, that they do
Yeah.
throughout the film. Seeing them get in and out of the clubs, and how they lure people back. I just think there's a lot of great lines, great chemistry between the main characters, and even nice nods to older horror films, like with the Peter character being like the Nosferatu vampire, and all them kind of being different era vampires. I think it's a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm gonna go with what I think is one of the smarter ones, and a recent one, and stick to What We Do in the Shadows for S tier.
Yeah. So what we do in the Shadows is in my top 5 comedies of all time. I freaking love this movie. Like when I saw this thing, I was just blown away by like how smart it was, but just like the little nuances, the little lines, like would you like some sketty, or like when they have the actual humans over, and they're kind of prepping them for that, and you're seeing like the whole dynamic of these vampires just living everyday life. What would it be like if they were just living everyday life? When they go out, they have to be invited in, so they can't get into the club and all that stuff. And then it's having like a really ancient kind of like Vlad the Impaler type of vampire living with them. Like that's actually kind of scary a little bit. So they're Peter there. So yeah, but yeah, this movie is just so good, and the TV show only complements it. But even if we're just talking about the movie itself, I think the movie's slightly better than the TV show. So yeah, I'm gonna say S tier for sure. Yeah, Win in the Shadows. Jordan.
Yeah, this was on my short list, so I'm gonna agree with you guys. I slept on this for a minute. It was just something I didn't jump to, and had heard several friends and whatnot, recommend it, and popped it on, and became an instant fan. So funny. Like you said, the great different cast of characters, the quotable stuff, werewolves. I love it, man. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's S tier, and the show is great too. By the way, I agree. The show is
Yeah.
actually somehow has lived up to the expectations.
Yeah, absolutely. Moose, what do you think?
I made myself pretty clear on the comic book movies that I think Taika Waititi is the best director working right now. I think his storytelling is amazing. His humor hits in everything he does. I mean, I always go back to Jojo Rabbit. Like, what an impossible story to tell and make funny, but it's such a heartwarming, amazing movie. And What We Do in the Shadows is so freaking funny. It's so good. Yeah, it definitely belongs in the S tier.
Yeah, absolutely. Brother Lomas, what do you think?
I will give it an A, and this is my only line. It's a very funny movie, but I don't hold it like sacred like some of the other movies that we've already dropped down under the S tier. So I can't give it an S just from comparison purposes, but it's a hilarious movie, so I'll give it an A.
Yeah, sounds good. Jacob?
I have not seen this movie yet.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. You're
Do
missing
yourself a
out.
favor. But
Yeah.
we got 4 S's and an A, so it'll stay in S tier, maybe
Yeah,
around where it's at right now, so that's fine. Lomas, we know you wrote that you got to go. I'll tell you what we're going to do, though. I think we'll do a quick speed round with you, and maybe we'll count them in our Hail Mary round as far as what you would vote for S tier, just so you can get your picks out there and at least get your stuff. And I'll write them down for you, and then that way later when we're doing our Hail Mary picks, we'll include that. Or if it comes up, along the show, I'll count your vote towards the S tier. So I think we'll do that just to be fair, since you got to go. So what would be on your short list for S tier if you could vote?
All right. Ghostbusters, arguably the greatest film ever made. Major League, arguably the greatest sports movie ever made.
Yeah.
Airplane, arguably the greatest spoof movie ever made.
Yeah.
And National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, the greatest Christmas movie ever made.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree with all of those.
I would have brought up two of those myself. So, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right, man. Anything you want to plug before you get out of here?
Yeah.
When are you gonna go? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I want to plug the super volcano underneath Yellowstone. It is yet to erupt, preserving human life. And I just want to shout out for not erupting. Good job,
Yep.
super volcano.
Nice. Yeah.
Good night,
Right.
guys. Thank you for
Sounds
having me.
good.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, thanks again.
Cheers.
All right.
It's all good. Thank you.
See you tonight, buddy.
All right, brother.
All right.
I love that guy.
Yeah, right.
He's the best.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. I guess if we need a sixth Jordan, eventually, I'm sure Richie or somebody's watching, but we'll see. But if not, we'll roll with the five of us. But for right now, we'll move on to you, sir. So what's your next pick?
Yeah. Well, so for me, the next one's kind of more of a personal one that I don't know how everyone's gonna vote on it, but I grew up loving it, and I still love it to this day. I think it holds up really, really well. So I'm going to go with Happy Gilmore. So I am a huge Adam Sandler fan, especially of his older stuff, but like I'm just a fan of his in general. I mean, he's had some pretty big misses lately, but like his early stuff is really, really solid. And there's another movie that's just super, super quotable. Like when he first learns how to hit the ball really far, he's like knocking people out of the window. You just hit that guy. We shouldn't have been standing there, or like other famous are you too good for your home, like all that stuff, and like how was a former hockey player and he just beats the crap out of people all the time, and like it's just so good. And then how he plays off with Shooter McGavin too, I think it's a really good dynamic. So it makes me laugh really hard every single time, even to this day. Especially shout out to the Ben Stiller scene where he's in like the old folks home too. And some really funny stuff. So I'm gonna go S tier for Happy Gilmore. So we'll see what you guys think.
All right, Jordan.
Oh, I need a cold glass of milk. Well, I'll give you a nice cold glass of shut the hell up. Yeah, Ben Stiller as the orderly is fantastic. I love this movie. The Jordans are on the same page for this one, man.
Yeah.
Early Sandler, Billy Madison, Winning Singer, and Big Daddy. Mwah. So I'm glad one of them made the list. I don't know if everyone else can give it an F. I don't care what you say. Happy Gilmore, S tier.
Yeah.
It's all in the hips, baby. It's all in the hips.
Well, Moose, what do you think?
You know that Mista lady? I think I just killed her.
You just killed her.
Yeah, right. Get me out of here.
Of the Adam Sandler movies, and I agree. Like Adam Sandler's first four movies. Let me rephrase that because his first couple of movies were garbage. But
as they going overboard, watch out.
Yeah,
going overboard is unwatchable. Yeah,
it is. It's not even a movie. You could argue.
Yeah.
Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, The Waterboy, Big Daddy, his best. And of those best movies, this is the best of the Adam Sandler movies. But I don't think it's S tier. I'm going to give it an A, but I still love this movie. I still think, again, it's endlessly quotable, but all-time great classic comedies. I'm going to give this one an A. I may come back to it in a later round if we need to advance it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
It's wrong, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
There it is.
It was good stuff. Yeah, but Jacob, what do you think?
I swear to God, if you say you haven't seen it, I'll kill you.
I wish I hadn't seen this. I'm not a fan. I'm just not. I don't. I'm not gonna give it an F because I do think there are some funny moments, but I don't know what it is with Adam Sandler. Like I love his dramatic stuff, but his comedies they don't really land for me personally. I know I'm in the minority in that. And I'm not gonna crap on it. I will just give it the D rating. I think.
Our podcast.
Yeah.
I want you to go home. Just go home.
I guess there's a reason. I guess there's a reason Jacob wasn't on our other comedy episodes. Maybe we should sub in somebody else.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
I can laugh.
Yeah.
See you later, Jake. No,
okay.
you're good.
All right.
Oh,
Good, now I'm gonna screw up the order.
he did it to himself that time. It wasn't me.
You're not supposed to give it away, Jordan.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Austin, what do you think for having?
Well, I'm gonna at least keep the average high on it, and I'll give it an S tier because I think if we're gonna have an Adam Sandler movie, like Adam Sandler represented, I know it's the only one technically on the list, but it's fine because it's one of his 2 or 3 best movies he's ever done, and like you said, all the early stuff is where he really shined. His kind of manic energy before he started doing movies just to take a vacation somewhere, when he actually gave a shit. And and cared about making funny scenes from one to another. Yeah, I mean, come on, the him and Bob Barker fight alone should make this an S tier film. I mean, come on, like that's genius. Like, and it's one of the greatest things of all time. And the fact that it's also a great sports comedy and actually has some good sports competition stuff at the end, I think is great. Shooter McGavin's one of the great comedy villains of all time too. So yeah, I'll give it an S tier.
I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. You eat pieces of shit
You
for
eat
breakfast?
piece of shit for breakfast.
Yeah.
At least I know I'm not alone. At least I know I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
whatever,
Malcolm.
Malcolm.
That's why you're not on this episode either.
yep,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, I know. Malcolm famously
Malcolm.
does not like Adam Sandler, but there's a reason why he named his production company Happy Madison, because those are his freaking 2 best movies right there. So, yeah, but
I brought back Ben Stiller for Hubie Halloween as
Yeah,
that
I know.
character.
that was awesome. Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
part
a
of
great
that
call.
movie.
Well, it's
Yeah.
gonna get knocked down into the A
Like
tier
that.
because of Jacob's D vote.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
but it'll be on the border with
We got 3
Spaceballs.
S's, right?
Spite vote coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that works for
Spaceballs
tournament
had
fights. That doesn't work
Space-
for tier ranking.
Yeah, so-
yeah.
Spaceballs had
Next
higher
has to be-
overall votes. So
All right. Well, we'll see how it landed. If you said it had a higher overall, just
yeah,
I'll go with
because
that.
Spaceballs didn't have anything as low as D. So yeah.
Well, we're back down to Jordan Owens. So what do you want to go with?
It honestly would have been Happy Gilmore, but
Nice,
let's go. Let's go with a film that I absolutely fell in love with, and it made me actually go back and watch the prior film of the Cornetto trilogy, and that's Hot Fuzz. I think from the
Yeah.
get-go, this thing is shot such energy by Edgar Wright. I love the chemistry. And obviously, you've seen in Shaun of the Dead, the chemistry between Peg and Frost is off the chain. I wish I know they did a lot of stuff early. I want to see them do more stuff together because I love these two together here. And it's a great movie, man. And you got some action in there. You got him trying to jump over the fence, and then that's not working out.
Yeah.
And it's great plot too. Like
Good stuff.
you're honestly trying to kind of solve the plot of this crazy town and what exactly is going on. And I just think it's fantastic. So Hot Fuzz.
Yeah. Well, Moose, what do you think?
I dig Hot Fuzz. I dig Edgar Wright. I think everything Edgar Wright does is repeatedly watchable. I do think Shaun of the Dead is the best of the Cornetto trilogy. I think Hot Fuzz is a hell of a lot of fun, though. This is my favorite, of the Cornetto trilogy. Nick Frost's character in this movie is my favorite version that he does. It's so freaking funny as Danny, the police chief's son, and his first scene is he's getting drunk at the bar, and then he gets thrown in the drunk tank. It's so good. I do like it. Because I think Shaun of the Dead is a little bit better, I'm going to give this an A+. I'm just going to sit it right there in that top A cat. Same thing with Happy Gilmore. We need to push another one up into the S tier. This might be it, but I dig Hot Fuzz. I love Edgar Wright. And the action sequence in the last 20 minutes of that movie is so freaking good, and you can go back through every action movie that they quote in there, and there's a little tidbit from every one of those movies in there. It's such awesome. You know what? Fuck it. It's S tier.
Yeah.
Okay.
I talked myself into it.
He talked himself, he wrapped himself up right into it.
Yeah. See, it's okay to say all those Cornetto movies are S tier. That's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, Shaun of the Dead's not up for a vote in this one, so yeah.
Yeah, not up.
yeah.
So I figured I gotta type something.
It's so good that you talked yourself into it. I like it. So,
All right,
Yeah,
Jacob.
fuck it. God, I love this movie.
but Jacob.
Yeah, I don't know what else needs to be said now. Let's just give it an S tier and move on.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, sounds good. Austin.
Yeah, Hot Fuzz is in my top 64 just in general. I love this movie to pieces. I think I've rewatched it, God, probably 30 or 40 times. This is the one I put on the most, just casually, because I just love all the little subtle lines. Like, I love all the little, just in the montage, the back and forth between Nick and Danny, where it's just like, have you ever fired a gun while jumping through the air? No. Have you ever fired two guns while jumping through the air? No. Have you ever been in a high-speed pursuit? Yes. Have you ever fired a gun while in a high-speed pursuit? No. And he's just like hitting him with all these questions just over and over and over again. Like, it's just a lot of fun. All the stuff with the swan is great. And when they actually kick on the action and him doing all the action cliches, literally riding into town on a horse with sunglasses on, just saying morning, and then just opening fire. It's just all that stuff is great. And them hitting all the puns at the end is a lot of fun, and how it gets kind of ultra violent. It's really silly. And this movie needs to be in the S tier for the greater good. The greater good. Yes.
Nice. The greater good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm right there with you guys. Like, I think it deserves S tier all the way. I freaking love Hot Fuzz, but it's a movie that I need to go back and need to give a rewatch, because I haven't seen it in a minute. But I really want to go back and rewatch it. But probably rewatch the whole entire Cornetto trilogy, if I'm being honest. And also I almost used to break out my box set, because they got a box set for Hot Fuzz that's like 5 discs. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. There's a lot of really cool, like, undeleted scenes, and like they show how they like film some of the action sequences and stuff. So it's really, really cool. So yeah. And anytime you have Simon Pegg and Nick Frost together, I mean, that's always comedy gold. So, like, I don't know if there's very much better chemistry in like all of Hollywood or the movies in general. So yeah, I'm gonna say S tier. So
okay, well, we got 5 S tier votes, so it'll
5,
be pretty high up. Yeah,
when we're near the top, I'll just stick it right, maybe.
Right around there.
Right there, yeah. So we are back to Moose. So what do you want to go for?
Well, our dear sweet brother Lomas needs to have a voice while he is gone, and he touched on, which if you've been on this show with me before, you know that this is my favorite movie of all time. So we're just gonna go there, folks. And we're gonna talk Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Ghostbusters.
Now, Ghostbusters, what it was supposed to be, is not what it ended up. Right? This and the comedy in this movie still hits. And yeah, maybe it isn't the first movie that comes to mind when it comes to like comedies. But if you go back and you think of some of the lines that are thrown out, like when he's talking to the mayor about Walter Peck, and he's like, "Yes, Your Honor, it's true. This man has no dick."
Yeah.
Like the comedy sometimes gets lost in like what could be a very like fun action movie, a true underdog story. Ghostbusters is one of, if not the best movie ever made. It's definitely, of course, in my top 64. But yeah, as far as comedies go, this also rings true in the vein of comedies. Ghostbusters is amazing. S tier all the way.
Yeah, sounds good. Jacob, what do you think?
Yeah, this movie. I think this movie needs to be in the S tier. I love Bill Murray in this movie. I think he is absolutely fantastic. This might be his favorite movie of mine. Endlessly rewatchable, quotable. Like you probably just said my favorite line in the whole movie, Moose. It's great. I love everything about this movie. So I am really hopeful that this stays in the S tier.
Yeah. Austin?
Yeah, it'll stay in the S tier. I mean, there's 2 movies that Brother Lomas mentioned that I was going to bring up for S tier anyways, and Ghostbusters. If nobody said it, I was going to bring it up. I'm going to go ahead and count his vote for S tier as well because he said it. So I'm just going to count that as well and give him a bone. But I'm also going to give it an S tier. So Ghostbusters is one of the greatest of all time. It's one of the greatest. It might be the greatest, sci-fi, comedy, that kind of blend of science fiction and comedy. And not a whole lot of movies can do that. It's like that and Men in Black and a couple couple other things. Such a hard thing to do to make that stuff funny. But the dynamic is so great because you have, the three main characters who all bring something unique, and then you bring in Winston, who's kind of the voice of the audience, to explain some stuff later, which is fine because we need that. But they make it work. I think Rick Moranis is great. Annie Potts is awesome.
Yeah.
Like all the little side character actors that pop up in the movie are a lot of fun, and it has good ghost busting action as well. So, but yeah, endlessly quotable, great movie. S tier, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Back off, man. I'm a scientist, all right? Like, just like him saying that, like when he's clearly not a scientist, but he's like hanging out with all these scientists, so he kind of just like fits in with them.
I quote, one I quote all the time. Real quick, I'm sorry. I always, whenever I'm about to do something, I need to charge something. I always go, "No job is too big, no fee is too big," which is a great line.
Yeah,
that's a wonderful line. It's a great Bill Murray line.
Yeah, there's like, okay, who brought the dog? Like some like good stuff from coming from Rick Moranis. So yeah. But yeah, like this movie's like so much fun. The only thing though that kind of like I really want to give it an S tier, but the thing is that when I think about it, I don't really think comedy, even though there is a lot of comedy in it. But when you think about it overall, and even the way that it was marketed, like I just feel like it wasn't really like marketed as a comedy. Like it's just more of like kind of like a borderline kind of like action horror almost. But it's hilarious though. Like it has some really, really funny lines. And as an overall movie, I'd give it an S. But if we're talking straight up comedy, I think that I tend to give it more of an A. So I gotta do A. I think for Ghostbusters. But I still love this movie. So
it's true, guys. That guy has no dick.
Has no dick. Yeah.
Apparently not. Yeah.
What is this madness? Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria on this episode. Not everybody giving it an S tier. Come on.
Yeah. But
all right. Jordan Owens.
Yeah, Jordan.
All right. Yeah, I hate to be the downer here, but I thought this movie was just messy. Wasn't very funny. When they said Melissa McCarthy and Kate McKinnon were gonna. Oh wait, that Ghostbusters?
Oh yeah.
Oh okay. Oh okay. My bad. I thought we were talking the other Ghostbusters. Yeah. No, it's an S tier, baby. I love it. Let's go for it. S tier.
Yeah.
I knew he was going that way. I knew he was going to be like, yeah, when they remade this movie, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not mad about it staying in the S tier because like it is a great movie. I mean, don't let my A vote fool you. It's just yeah. We just gotta be a little pickier. So, but Jacob, you're up next.
It's me.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go for it. Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah.
I love this movie. Now, I personally would put it in S tier. I don't know if it's going to stay there, but I think this is horror comedy done right. I love Alan Tudyk in this movie, and just the way the kills happen, I think, is very clever and funny. So I will give this an S tier, but I anticipate it going down.
Yeah.
Just wanted to give a shout out and show some love.
Yeah, sure. Austin, what do you think?
No, I want to preface this, Jacob. When we did our 2010s episode, I fought hard for Tucker and Dale versus Evil to even get a spot in the S tier, and it did, and it just kind of slid in there. I champion this movie. I think it's a great horror comedy. Now, when it comes to this top 10 overall, I just don't think it quite hits that all-time classic status, only because you kind of have to be a horror fan to really appreciate all the stuff about it and all the little nuances and all the ways it does the kills and the things it's kind of riffing on. So as a horror fan, I do absolutely adore this movie. I think it's a lot of fun. It's an S tier for that decade, but as an all-time classic, I can't quite go there, but I'll still give it an A. Like I think it's still very, very strong. I just wanted to preface that because I adore this movie to pieces, and it holds up very well and it's aged very well. But I think to be an all-timer, it's kind of just got to be an all-timer for almost anybody who can pick up and watch it. And unless you're a horror fan, I don't think you're going to appreciate this movie as well. So I'll go A tier for Tucker and Dale, but I love it to pieces.
Yeah. Like I would echo a lot of what you just said, Austin. Because for our 2010 episode, I voted for the S tier too. Like I love Tucker and Dale. Just the dynamic between Tyler Labine and Alan Tudyk, it's just really, really great. That like there's some just great scenes, some really kills that are almost comedic, and like it's a really solid movie. But if we're being completely and totally objective, I mean, we got to have movies that are going to fill out all the tiers. I mean, we can't vote every single thing into the S and the A tier here. So for me, it just kind of falls about in a B tier compared to like anything else that's on the list. So, but it's a really solid movie. Like even if we were doing best horror movies, like I'd rate it like maybe even in an S tier. But I think for this list, I got to go B. So, Jordan.
Yeah, this is one of those. It's a unique list because, at another time, I'd say S or A for sure, but I can't say I'd put it above anything already in the A's for me personally. So it lowers it a little bit, kind of based on that. Yeah, much love to the idea of this movie, to Tudyk, to Tyler Labine. I love them so much, and this just added to my love for them. But I gotta go B just based on I couldn't say it's higher than the things we've already said.
Yeah.
And also Jacob didn't like Happy Gilmore that much, so B.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Moose? What do you think?
Yeah, I think Jordan Owens nailed it. B is going to be where I'm going to place this movie too. I actually am late to the party. I just saw this movie like a month ago. I thought it was a TV show. And so I never watched it.
I don't got time for 6 seasons.
I would appreciate this movie if it was like a season of just them doing stuff in the woods. Like I could watch them just kind of hanging out, building their house, and interacting with the townsfolk. Like I'd be down for that. Brought those two guys back.
As a recommendation, and I was like, "Oh, really? This is a movie?
Get on it."
But yeah, it because it's new to me. Because a lot of these movies have stood the test of time. I think B is exactly where it should be. And we don't really have any movies in that slot yet, so who knows? A couple years from now, maybe this movie makes its way up into A and then into S.
Yeah. Well, we have 3 B's and an A
and an A and an S. So yeah, it's either going to be low B or top of B. Yeah, I don't know, somewhere around there.
I think low A is probably fair for it.
Low A is fair. Yeah, probably in the last spot. Yeah.
Yeah, that A is getting crowded.
It is.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's a championship. There's a lot of good movies on here. There's not a lot of bad movies.
Nothing's bad.
So unless you're Brother Lomas and you think Bridesmaids is like the worst comedy of all time.
Nothing's bad on here.
Yeah.
Well, Austin, you're up again. So what do you want?
Yeah, I'm going to go, Moose. I'm going to go with one of the other ones that I agree with Lomas on, and one of his votes. What I think is still the greatest pound for pound spoof movie of all time. That's Airplane from 1980. I think Airplane is the greatest Zucker production that's ever been put together. I mean, just from the opening with the airplane port announcers, arguing with each other over the PA system. The red zone is for unloading, the white zone is for unloading. No, you said the red zone is loading, unloading. Like, oh, this is about your abortion, isn't it? Like, it just goes into weird shit. Like them arguing over each other. It's great. All the pilot dynamics with I'm forgetting the actor's name, but the whole you ever seen a grown man naked? You ever like gladiator movies? All that shit just makes me laugh harder than anything. The fact that everybody in this movie, it's what a spoof movie should be. Everybody in the movie is playing it straight, which is what makes it funny. Yes. They're delivering these lines completely straight faced, which is what makes it funny. Take notes, Friedberg and Seltzer, disaster movie, epic movie, all that shit. Take notes. This is what a movie should be. Everybody needs to play it straight and not be reference movies. It's the turning point for Leslie Nielsen. Obviously, he would go on from this, steal the movie, and go on to make The Naked Guns.
Surely you can't be serious.
Yeah, I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. Okay. Listen. It's great. So for everybody about to put this in the S tier, or if you're not, good luck to you all. We're all counting on you. So S tier for you.
Yeah.
Just want to let you know, good luck. We're all counting on you.
Well, I think Airplane is a movie I need to give a rewatch. I've only seen it twice, and like I just like for me, I just don't really understand why everyone puts it as like the greatest spoof movie of all time. I mean, like I don't dislike it. Like I think that it's still a great movie, but I think I'm kind of more the realist on this episode. Like I'm like we got to have stuff in the other tiers here. We can't just put everything like just super high. So I mean, for me, if I were to look at my overall list, like I would have it probably in a C tier, honestly. Like it's just,
Jesus
I mean,
Christ! For
I just
fuck's sakes!
I don't really understand. Like, there's some funny things when they're going around, like everyone's slapping that woman on the plane over and over again, and there's some really good bits. But like when you compare it to a lot of these other comedies, I'm just not laughing from beginning to end. But I'm laughing really hard at a few kind of single jokes, maybe like 5 or 6 single jokes, but I'm not laughing from beginning to end. So for me, I got to go with the C tier. So, but Jordan,
And the Jordans are not on the same page here.
yeah,
It's not a movie I think
figured.
I would have brought up. I had other ones, but like I also can't deny just how damn good this movie is too. So yeah, it's so funny. So I'd say A. It's great. There's no denying it.
Yeah. Well, Moose, what do you think?
You know, Austin, I picked a hell of a day to quit sniffing glue.
Yeah. Pick the hell of a day to quit drinking. Pick the hell of a day to quit smoking. Hell of a day to quit sniffing glue. No, come on, just man. It's so good.
This you guys are fucking crazy not putting this through on the S tier. This is total S tier material. This is what made spoof movies a thing. And I agree 100%. Everyone in this movie is playing it so straight that it just makes it that much more funnier. Like, I love Airplane. I repeatedly watched this movie. I think this is the template. I mean, you have Lloyd Bridges, you have Leslie Nielsen, you have Robert
what's his name
playing,
from Unsolved Mysteries? Yeah, like playing it straight as like the FBI guy or whatever. Like he's great.
Yeah, he's the straight.
He's doing karate and fighting off all the people trying to hand him out shit, and he's doing like a martial arts scene. The people trying to hand him the flyers at the airport, like just casually beating the shit out of everybody. It's great.
It's so good. Then randomly you have the Brady Bunch mom who comes over and is like, "Oh, I speak jive." Like, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, I love Airplane. S tier all the way.
Yeah. Well, Jacob, what do you think?
Pass.
Have you not seen it?
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll take all S's in the C, so I mean we could still put it in the S. I wouldn't be mad about it. So
your S is dragging it the fuck down, Jordan. How does Airplane, which is one of the greatest comedies of all time, like unequivocally, gonna get bumped down into the A tier because of your S? But okay, fine.
For the 70s episode, like it's almost at the top of the list. But I mean, for the
80s, for 80s, it's 80s, and it's like it was like top 3. Like what?
But this is the comedy championship. You just got to be more.
Airplane's one of the greatest of all time. Absolutely.
It absolutely is. It's funnier than Dumb and Dumber. It's funnier than Tommy Boy, and I love those movies.
It's funnier than Young Frankenstein. It's funnier than Holy Grail. It's funnier than Tucker Dale. It's as funny as.
It's not as funny. As Dumb and Dumber or Tommy Boy for me.
Yes, it is. I mean, it absolutely is. Absolutely, joke for joke.
You need to be sober watching this movie.
Yeah. Well, we'll give it another rewatch. I've only seen it twice, so like maybe with another rewatch, I'll probably rate it a lot higher. But for me, I got to be the realist.
You got to bump it down because you voted against it, so you got to bump it down. Because I'm including Lois's. I'm including Lois's S vote. So it's 3, 1. No, it's 3 S's, an A, and a C. So
an A. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the A on there, so yeah, sorry. Yeah. Then I guess right there, sure. Yeah.
Guys, if we just don't vote any other movies into the S tier, it's gonna be the first one that gets bumped up.
Yeah, right. There you go.
I've got.
I won't be mad about it. Like I'm fine, but there's got to be some movies on this list that have to go in a C and a D tier. They just have to because That's just logical. They have to.
No, they don't have to. They can
No,
all
they
be
don't
fucking
have to.
great. They don't
Yes,
have to at all.
yeah.
I don't understand your
What do you
logic
mean?
at all.
Yeah,
Like,
what do you
no, they
mean?
I mean,
don't.
We
if you
never
think they're the
had to
greatest
fill out
movies of
every
all
bracket.
time, like we got to fill out all the tiers. That's the thing. We can't have like an overload on certain tiers, especially.
Had
I
them
don't think there's
before.
one that's
Don't
been
have
brought
that.
up that deserves to be that low yet. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think there's one of the mediocre ones yet. Like I don't think we've had one of those
I
yet.
guess I'm just
but
a realist
that's just me.
tonight, but yeah. But
I am
but,
realist. I've given everything an
Yeah, I
honest
don't-
vote tonight. I've been completely
Yeah, I
real.
don't get it.
you can have
Yeah.
everything in A and an S.
No,
right.
I voted for B tier on a lot of stuff. If you go back,
not
I
very
voted Monty
realistic.
Python a B. I voted
Yeah, I'm not gonna go
Young
C just
Frankenstein a
because
B.
there's
I
not enough
voted
C's.
Bridesmaids a C. I voted
Because they're-
Spaceballs an
yeah.
A. Like I'm being
Yeah,
real.
Mom,
Sure,
Dad,
sure.
quit fighting.
All right. No, you're good. No. Well, anyways, what's my
Two
pick? So I'm
Christmases.
gonna go with
Two
one
Christmases.
actually that Brother Lomas brought up. I'm gonna go with Christmas Vacation, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. So I think this one deserves an S tier for sure because like this is hands down my favorite National Lampoon's movie ever made, and it's just endlessly quotable. Like it has some of the best stuff from Cousin Eddie, like when he's like, "Gee, Eddie, I wouldn't be more surprised if I woke up tomorrow with my head sewn to the carpet." You know, just these little lines and like the little nuances too that you see, like when they're shopping in the store, and like he puts some kind of, he puts the light bulbs on top of the dog food, and he just grabs another huge bag of dog food and just crushes them. You know, just like so many things. And like me and my dad, like we always quote, or was it like, "What'd you give me for Christmas?" I got you something real nice, just real nice. So yeah, so yeah. I think the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is hands down an S tier, so that's where I put it. Jordan, what do you think?
I was super late to the party on this. I think I only saw this like a year or so ago. It's good. It's funny. Again, I can't say I'd put it over anything that's literally on the screen right now. So I gotta go B personally. Don't shoot me.
Yeah. No, it's fair enough. Moose, what do you think?
Jordan, every time I watch this movie, I have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny fucking Kaye.
Yeah. Yes.
I absolutely adore
Wow.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. This is my favorite Christmas movie. This is the Haas family favorite Christmas movie.
Yes.
This is endlessly quotable. It's so good. Yeah, S tier for me.
Yep. Jacob, what do you think?
Well, JPO, we may not have agreed on Happy Gilmore, but we're gonna agree on Christmas Vacation.
Shabadoo.
Yeah.
I was also late to it. I just saw it for the first time a couple years ago, and I don't know. Maybe it was just the mindset I was in at the time. Being 2020. So I don't know. I didn't enjoy it as much as other people do, and maybe I need to rewatch it. I mean, I did laugh. There were some funny moments, but I didn't watch it and be like, oh, that's going to be a Christmas staple for me. So I'll agree with the B.
Yeah. Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, I think even on the '80s episode, I didn't even have this in S tier for me personally. I think National Lampoon's Vacation is the strongest of all of them, and we were voting them side by side. So yeah, I wouldn't put this above Happy Gilmore or Airplane or Young Frankenstein or Blazing Saddles, any of that. I don't watch this as much as some of the other Christmas comedies. It is funny if it's on around Christmas time. I'll watch it and have a good time, but as far as like an all-timer, for this episode, I put it in B as well. That's right.
Well, Austin probably has a take you guys would agree with. He says Airplane is better. So there you go. Yeah. You say B? Is that what you said, or you say A?
Yeah, I said B.
B.
So
Okay.
including Brother Lomas's vote, which I am because he brought it up, of S, there's 3 S's and 3 B's. So it gets
So it's probably A, like
right in the
mid-A?
middle. Yeah,
Yeah.
it gets right in the middle.
Yep.
Okay, well, around probably Spaceballs and Airplane because it did have a decent amount of S votes, but yeah. So we'll see.
Airplane and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
I know.
and A
It's
tier.
sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking cutting somebody on the way home.
He's gonna be road raging on the way home. I'm gonna be road raging. I'm not even on the road.
Why's the
It's an
carpet
airplane.
wet? I don't know, Margot. Well, something has to break the stereo, right? There's so many good lines there.
Where are you going to put a tree that size, Jordan?
Yeah. Well, bend over and I'll show you. Right.
So good.
Yeah. Yeah, but
All right, so we're at an hour 38. I think we will go through one more kind of regulation round before we get to our final toss out Hail Mary, last minute round. I know because I know in about 20 minutes Moose has got a hard out, so we'll try to get to that Hail Mary round before he leaves. So I think we'll go more regulation round, maybe just keep it at about 45 seconds or so a piece, just so we can do that. And but yeah, everybody can still get one more regular pick, and then we'll hit our speed round. So Jordan Owens, what else you got?
Jordan.
So the opposite of what we do in the shadows, a movie that had a great show. Let's go with the show that ended up having an even greater movie, 21 Jump Street. A movie I don't think anyone was really that excited about. Channing Tatum had kind of had middling action and drama performances here, and Jonah Hill was kind of a co-star up to that point. And who gives a shit about 21 Jump Street at that point? But this movie was super funny, man. From the drug scene to them going undercover, accidentally mixing up their identities. So one's got to be the jock, and the other one's got to be the drama student. And I love it, man. It's really fun. Ice Cube. Everyone is here to play. 21 Jump Street. I'm gonna go for S tier.
Yeah, sounds good. Moose, what do you think?
I love 21 Jump Street. I think it's fun. I think it's a hell of a good time. It's a funny movie. I actually like 22 Jump Street just a little bit more than 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
My name is Jeff. In 22 Jump Street, when he finds out that Jonah Hill's character is sleeping with Ice Cube's daughter, that scene had me in stitches for like 10 minutes. That is such a funny movie.
He's like,
that being said, there's some of these movies where I'm like, okay, maybe they're too young into it, maybe not. I will give 21 Jump Street a solid, I got to fill out that B somewhere. I'll give 21 Jump Street a solid B, mostly because I like the sequel a little bit more.
Yeah, sounds good. Jacob?
Oh, I'm right there with you, Moose. Because the A tier is a little crowded, I'll give it a B. I like the sequel a little better too. But this one was still solid, very solid.
Mm-hmm. Well, Austin?
Yeah, I like 21 Jump Street a lot. But when I was putting my list together, I didn't really have it as high up. I do think it's one of the stronger ones. I voted for it in the S tier when we did our 2010s episode, just because it may have been the most surprisingly great comedy of that decade. One that kind of took everybody off guard, that everybody had no expectations for whatsoever, maybe even low expectations. So it did surprise me in that vein. So given how much it took kind of everybody off guard, I'll vote an A tier for it. But I wouldn't put it in the absolute greatest of all time classics. Maybe 10 years from now, it might be kind of in that conversation. But for now, I'm gonna go A.
Yeah. Well, for me, this movie kind of hovers around like at the borderline of the S tier and the A tier. But I did kind of tell myself that I did not to drag things down too much, because my whole logic using my letterbox to kind of be a little more realistic in my mind, I'm going to give some benefits of the doubt to those borderline ones. And I'm actually going to give it an S tier. I actually really, really like 21 Jump Street. I have a lot of fun with it. It's super rewatchable. And who knew that Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill were going to have such great chemistry. And then those guys kind of playing off of Ice Cube, even Nick Offerman to an extent a little bit. And the drug scene where they take those weird little drugs, and then they run into Rob Riggle in the hallway, and they're seeing weird things. He's like, "Close your mouth. What are you doing? That's really weird. You're freaking me out," or whatever. And they're putting their fingers in each other's mouths, all that stuff. It's just really, really funny. So yeah, I would give 21 Jump Street an S tier, but it'd probably be a pretty low S tier. But I'll say S. So.
All right, so we've got two S's, an A, and a B, so it's gonna again slide into that A tier. It's getting crowded in there, but
maybe right there.
Yeah, probably mid, somewhere around there. We'll see.
Yeah.
We might have to slide some stuff up if we can't get anything overwhelming. We'll see what happens.
Right.
But but we'll go and see if Moose can get a straight shot one. We'll see.
Yeah.
What do you got?
So There's two I'm debating between right now. You know what? I'm gonna do it. We're gonna go Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. We're gonna put that in the S tier.
I'm
Much
coming for
along the
you,
lines of
Bubby.
Step Brothers. I mean, just the chemistry and the back and forth between Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. I mean, those two movies, those two were on point. And again, this is another endlessly quotable, movie. I still think the comedy is fun to watch. This is like Sacha Baron Cohen coming in as the like rival French driver is a lot of fun to be able to watch too. And like when he has like his personal life, he like lives in his mansion with his husband, and they train Dobermans. And at his relaxation party before his race, it's like Elvis Costello is randomly like there. Like, I don't know. For me, I think it's just funny. I think it's another one of those movies where you can just sit there and watch. I mean, the dude drives a race car with a cougar named Tina, right? It's so good. So Talladega Nights, I think, should be in the S tier.
Yeah. That sounds good. Jacob, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm, because I view this in the same vein as a Step Brothers, endlessly quotable. It's absolutely hilarious, endlessly rewatchable. I think Ricky Bobby's never met a sponsor he didn't like. And it's got just the big Fig Newton on the windshield. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, that is pretty good. I forgot about that.
And, if you ain't first, you're last. Which is the most ridiculous thing I ever heard, because you could be second, you could be third, hell, you could even be fourth. Yeah. So if Step Brothers is an S, I think Talladega Nights is an S, because I think it's just as funny.
Yeah. Well, Austin, what do you think?
I'll be the party pooper on this one. I don't think this movie's as great as everybody makes it out to be. I didn't even vote for S on that episode. I think this movie's okay. I think there's two other Will Ferrell movies. We already have one in the S tier. There's another one that's funnier, that holds up better. That's pound for pound a better comedy. Honestly, it's an okay for one of his sports comedies. But I just, man, I don't get into Talladega Nights as much. I think it has a really good first half, and pardon the pun, but I think it completely runs out of gas about halfway through. It's kind of a one joke movie. So hey, I'm gonna give it a C. I'm not as into Talladega Nights as everybody else.
C.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, when Brother Lomas was on there, I want everyone to bow their heads, and we're gonna say a little prayer. Dear Lord, baby Jesus, or as our brothers in the South call you, Jesus, we thank you so much for this bountiful harvest of Domino's, KFC, and the always delicious Taco Bell. But yeah, I'm not going to quote the whole entire thing. But that's just so good. That's one of my favorite scenes. They're doing that prayer, and yeah, like I forgot like how funny this movie actually is. When I go back and think of some of the lines are just so funny. Like, help me, baby Jesus, help me, Tom Cruise, and he's like running around just like after his accident and stuff. Like yeah, like it's really good. I don't know if I would quite put it in the S tier though. I think that it's more along the lines of an A tier. Like I actually find Step Brothers a little funnier, but yeah. So I'm gonna say A tier for Talladega Nights. So, but Jordan, what do you think?
I really love Talladega Nights. I think it's actually kind of up there for me personally with Step Brothers as far as rewatchability and it just being a really fun movie. So I'm cool with it being an S. I'm gonna say S.
Yeah, sounds good. So what are the votes at, Austin?
3 S's, an A, and a C. There was something that had the exact same votes at some point. What was?
Yeah.
I'm trying to look back and see, because
yeah,
it's like Happy Gilmore had like almost the exact same thing.
Yeah, so we could slide it down.
It's still going to hover
Happy
around
Gilmore.
that top of A and might get bumped. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see, because there's a lot of that are kind of hovering.
Yeah, the A's getting pretty crowded, so yeah.
Yeah. All right,
look
so
back at the votes.
I guess we'll go Jacob, right? Jacob?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob.
And you know what? Let's just stop at the top, because, yeah, I think Will Ferrell absolutely ruled the 2000s when it came to comedy. So let's put Anchorman up in that S tier as well.
Yeah.
I think again, endlessly quotable. The entire cast. I think. What's the guy's the weatherman? No, not the weatherman. The sports. I can't remember his. I never remember his
yeah.
name.
Champ?
But I don't remember like the guy who plays him. I can never remember.
Champ Kind with a whammy. Yeah.
David, is it David Keckner? Is that his name?
David
Yeah.
Keckner, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I can't remember his name. That's why I don't play movie trivia, guys.
Yeah.
But again, I think this is absolutely hilarious. I think it's endlessly quotable, easily rewatchable. I think Steve Carell gives an outstanding performance as Brick,
Yeah.
especially in that fight with that trident.
Yeah, where'd you get a trident? Yeah.
Brick killed a guy.
Yeah.
You may want to lay low for a while.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this an S tier. I think Will Ferrell, like I said, absolutely ruled the 2000s when it came to comedies. So,
Yeah. I'm Austin. What do you think?
Yeah, 60% of the time it works every time. And yeah, Anchorman this is the one I was literally just alluding to. I think it's a much stronger movie than Talladega Nights. I love the period piece setting of the 70s and how it's funny, but it also kind of deals with the issue of Christina Applegate, being this outsider, female news anchor coming in and them dealing with that. Like it's one great scene after another, just from the opening with him warming up his voice, and drinking the scotch. It's just awesome. You're off to the races. Yeah, and like I said, the ridiculous fight, the rivalry between them and Vince Vaughn's crew is a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm gonna go S tier for Anchorman. It's in my personal S tier.
Yeah, and Will Ferrell's a character in Anchorman. He's multi-talented because he also plays some Yaz flute. That's one of my favorite scenes when he's going around playing the Yaz flute with Fred Armisen. Yeah, that's like really funny stuff. Or like me, one of my best friends, we're always singing "Afternoon Delight" like all the time. Sky rockets in flight. Boo! Afternoon delight. Yeah, it's really good stuff.
I think one of my favorite running gags, real quick, is I have to mention Fred Willard. Just that when they always come back to him on the phone with somebody, and like it's always at the tail end of a conversation, just like, yeah, sister, but I told him not to bring the German porn. I don't know where he got that from. Just things like that. Like it'll just be at the tail end of a conversation, and it's one of the great running gags in the movie. So I just had to shout out Fred Willard. It's just his dry delivery is great. Yeah,
man, I miss Fred Willard. Rest in peace, Fred Willard. He was great. Yeah, but this one's one that like hovers around the 10th or 11th slot as far as the S tier goes. So for that, I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt, and I'm gonna say S tier for Anchorman. Yeah, Jordan.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine, man. Farrell, I don't love everything he's done, but these three that we have talked about are absolute bangers, or as the kids these days say, absolutely slaps. So whatever the fuck that means, give it an S.
Maybe don't say that anymore.
It slaps. It sure does slap. Am I right, everybody?
They're totally lit.
Yeah.
It's WAF, so let's give it an S.
Let's full send it right to the S tier, right? Full send. Yeah. But Moose, what do you think?
These are definitely Will Ferrell's three best comedies for sure. And you're absolutely right, Jacob. Like the 2000s were the era of Will Ferrell just dominating the comedy box office. Anchorman for sure belongs in S tier. There's so many quotable lines. The fight is just could go down as maybe one of the best fight scenes in movies. Like that could even be its own category.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's great. I dig Anchorman. I've got nothing but love to say for it. So S tier for sure.
And also, if you haven't heard his podcast where he does it as Ron Burgundy, is really solid stuff too. He has a whole podcast just in character. Yeah. So
the less said about Anchorman 2, the better though.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about a comedy that's too long? 2 hours and 20 minutes for that fucking movie. Good God, does that movie drag in the second half? Jesus.
There's just nothing funny about that second one.
I'll be right back. I have a situation I have to walk off.
Oh yeah, sure.
Mm.
You're good.
No, nothing. You
hold
guys suck. We were just talking about the movie.
I don't remember that
Okay.
line. I'm not
You
getting
don't
the
remember
me
reference.
when
neither.
you have a massive erection.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you said
Yeah.
that, I would have got it. I guess I didn't get the follow up.
Yeah.
You guys suck.
I'm gonna say you're about to walk off. It's almost your turn. So,
That was my turn.
but, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He nominated Anchorman.
Oh yeah.
It's about time one
Was
of my
you-
picks made the S tier.
You can walk off if you need to. Then yeah. Austin. You're up.
The joke's done, Jordan.
Yeah, my personal S tier is kind of winding down here, but I'll shoot my shot for one more. I'm gonna go with a movie that just gets better on rewatches, and it's a movie that I think everybody can have something in it to relate to as far as jobs, and I'm gonna go with Office Space. I think Office Space is one of the smarter written. Not necessarily like a slapstick, over the top kind of movie, but just one of those movies where like every aspect about it is just funny and something that somebody can relate to, whether it's sitting in traffic, road raging because the guy with the walker next to you is walking faster than you sitting in traffic, the other line moving faster, the machine, whatever job that just doesn't work that you want to smash like they do later to some Ghetto Boys music. It's great.
Yeah,
the over enthusiastic waiter at the restaurant that annoys the shit out of you, or working at a restaurant, all the stuff that they would kind of tap into later with waiting. Those annoying coworkers that are way too into their job, or those bosses who are just passive aggressive, or just are so into protocol that you just want to beat the shit out of them. I think Office Space it's just something that's so relatable. Even if you've never actually worked in an office, we all have encountered people like that. I just think it's a movie that kind of ages like fine wine. I think it gets better every time you watch it, and it's just one of the smarter movies from Mike Judge that he just killed it in this one. And it's a movie that's developed quite the following over the years. It was a bomb when it came out, but it developed a following for a reason. So I'm going to shoot my shot for Office Space. I can't remember what everybody thought on that panel, but I'm going to go for it. So Office Space.
Yeah, well, Austin, I was told that I could listen to my radio at a reasonable volume, like from like
Reasonable
a 19
volume.
or an 11.
7 to 9.
So, yeah. But this movie is one that I kind of had like on my own personal ranking more of like an A, but man, the more that I think about it, like I've had so many bosses that I just want to just tell them like straight up to go like F themselves. Like it's just like so many times, because like I'm kind of built as that kind of person that actually has done that a few times to multiple bosses, and it feels pretty good when you can do it. And this movie just kind of just like hits home for me for like so many things, just working at a job that you just hate, and it's like you don't really want to quit because you need a job, but like you kind of do want to quit because you absolutely hate it. So, and like the Ghetto Boy scene where they're just beating the hell out of the printer is just so good. I blast that Ghetto Boy song in my car all the time while I'm driving. So,
dude, this movie got me into the Ghetto Boys. This and Damn It Feels Good to Be a Gangster. Like, are so great. It's such a great choice for a soundtrack. It's awesome.
Yeah,
it's
so good.
Funny.
Yeah, so you know what? I think I'm gonna give it an S tier because it really resonates with me. So yeah, S tier. Jordan.
I'll be a downer for a little bit. I like it a lot. It is good. It's some great quotes here. Everyone wants that red stapler now. But like I said, I kind of, as it's going on the same train I've said before, I personally wouldn't put it over some of the ones we've mentioned already. So B.
Yeah. Moose, what do you think?
So this is what I actually think I'm going to be a little torn on, because I love Office Space, and I've worked in corporate America for long enough to know and to relate to almost every one of these characters and or bosses and or have been in these types of situations where you just have a boss that you're like, okay, do you want me to do this or not? And it's like, okay, I don't understand your reference. Like, okay, I guess I'll do this. And then if I do this, I get in trouble, and then I'm facing Bill Lumberg. Office Space for me is, but I do think that some of the comedy just, I don't know, it just, sometimes doesn't hit. And I'm a guy who has a commute every day to work. And so the scene with the old man on the walker absolutely hits me. And guys, I live in Southern California. If you've ever had to deal with Southern California traffic, it's the worst traffic.
Worst traffic in the country. Yeah.
And so, that scene absolutely hits. But I do think that some of the jokes after I've seen them just don't play as much for me. So that is going to take it down a notch. But I do have a lot of love for Office Space. I'm going to give it a B.
You're literally, and it's disappointing. You're literally in an office right now, Moose. How do you not vote for Office Space?
Looks like someone's going to keep Mondays, right?
Yeah.
But
sure, I am in my office.
I know. Jeez.
Well, Jacob, what do you think?
Yeah, Jordan, if you could just go ahead and move Office Space to the A tier, that'd be great.
The A tier. All right. I see.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Well,
so I would give it an A.
Yeah.
Damn.
We got a couple of S's, then we got some A's and a B.
An A and two B's.
Yeah, an A and two B's. So,
God damn it!
probably
I thought that would be a home run. Fuck.
Seeing as I do have to go in a few minutes, can I just throw out a couple of more nominations?
Yeah.
What you guys do on it?
Yeah.
So I think Booksmart. I think Booksmart will eventually age into an S tier. I would give Booksmart a high A. I think that movie is hilarious. Coming to America is an S tier movie for sure. I love The Nice Guys. Love The Nice Guys. I don't know. I'm really hit or miss with Shane Black stuff. I think that movie hits. I couldn't believe that Russell Crowe has such comedic acting chops. I'm going to put that one as an A. I think in a couple of years we're going to be considering that one an S, despite the fact that was a bomb at box office. If you have not seen The Nice Guys, watch that movie. That is my airplane movie. I watch that movie every single time I have a flight over 2 hours. Major League is an S tier movie. And my last one, Game Night, is super underappreciated. I think Game Night is absolutely hilarious. Again, that's a movie that I think in a few years, that movie is absolutely going to be up there in probably the S tier category. For now, I'll give that an A.
Yeah. Sounds good. Well,
good, man.
You want to stick around for one more round, or do you got to head out?
I could do one more, but
here's the thing. Jordan, it's Jordan's last pick. Just vote on Jordan's pick, and then I've got your shots for your other movies already written down.
Okay.
So that you just said.
We could do that.
So we'll just do that, and let Jordan get his pick. We'll get your vote for it, and then we'll let you head out. Sound good? About 2 minutes.
Cool.
So all right, sounds good. So Jordan, get your last pick out there, and we'll vote on it.
Yeah. So the last one I got to go for that's in my S tier. Are going to be super bad. Like this movie just cracks me up so hard every single time that I watch it. Like usually for movies like this, I try to give it some time between rewatches so I can kind of like give myself some time to kind of forget all the quotes and rediscover them all over again. So yeah, like where he's like, take off the fish, you look like Aladdin, or just like Jonah Hill just drawing all the dicks. It's just like really crazy. And then also Bill Hader and Seth Rogen as the two cops. It's just so good. Just like letting this kid McLovin just ride around with them for the day, and they're just like taking him on to crime scenes and all kinds of crazy stuff. So yeah, this movie is really solid. I think it's one of Jonah Hill's funniest ones in my opinion. So yeah, I'm gonna say S tier for Superbad. So see what you guys think. Jordan.
It's a lot of fun. I was, when I was going through my list, I was thinking about this, but it's a little bit lower on the end of like the ones I would maybe talk about. So I'd say A for me personally.
Yeah. Well, Moose, what do you think about Superbad?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same category. I mean, I like Superbad. I think it is one of those kind of endlessly rewatchable movies. I think more so because it's a very good coming of age movie, and there is a little more heart to it, and that's why I think people endlessly come back to it. Yeah, there are some laugh out loud hilarious scenes, and then there's some that it's just like, like the jokes just don't hit for me. So I'll go A. I mean, it'll be low tier. I know we got a ton in A, but honestly, if you look at this list, there's not really horrible movies.
Right.
So,
Yeah. They're all great.
Super Bad will go A for me.
Yeah. Jacob.
No, wait, let's
yeah,
go ahead and let Moose. And Moose has got to go, so let's let him get his
Okay.
plugs really quick, and then we'll let him go.
Yeah.
Since I got his vote.
Yeah.
So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Jake. I know Moose has got to hide out, so
Yeah.
I know.
All good.
So what do you got to plug, Moose?
Nothing much. I mean, you can find me at Big Moose House. I don't really have anything more to pitch tonight. But thank you guys again, as always, for having me on the show. Jordan, Jacob, it's good to see you guys again. Austin, Jordan, always a pleasure.
Yes.
And we'll see you guys again hopefully soon.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, you can watch tomorrow. You can watch the poll tomorrow, and you can see how it all shakes up. We'll let you know.
Please do. Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good one, sir.
All right.
All right. Jacob,
he's
Super
gone.
Bad.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Always enjoy having him on.
Yeah.
Super Bad. This is a movie. I used to love this movie. This was like one of my favorite comedies, but as I've watched more and more comedies, I've been, hitting kind of the earlier decades, 80s, 90s, and some 70s. It's kind of fallen down in terms of my favorite comedies. So I think Jonah Hill is great. Michael Cera is great. You mentioned Bill Hader and Seth Rogen. I think they're hilarious. They might be my favorite part of the movie. But I would give it an A.
All right. Yeah. Fair enough. Austin.
Yeah. I would also go a little more to A tier. I think we were talking about that decade. I definitely voted for S tier as far as when we did that show that decade. Overall, I think it's a really solid comedy. Definitely deserves to be mentioned. To me, just the only thing is man, that last 15 minutes just almost kills it. When the night is over and then they go to the mall the next day, all that stuff is dead air. The movie ends on such a kind of a dead
Could have
note.
gone without that.
If they had done without that and cut that 10, 15 minutes and just really ended strong on the crazy night, man, this movie would be a super banger. Super bad, super banger. I think that last 15 minutes just lets the air out of it a little bit. And it's always kind of bugged me about the movie. That they just keep going when it probably should have ended already. So it feels a little long because of that. So for that, that's just kind of the only thing that notches it into the A tier for me personally.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, we have pretty much all ages.
And S and 4 A's.
Yeah, so it's probably. I mean, I don't know, maybe mid to low A. So
something.
I'll throw it there. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we got the Hail Mary round.
So I got 3 more movies in there.
Yeah.
Well, we could because we're about to name our shoot our shot for S tier, and if a lot of people agree, it could still make it. We've had ones make it last minute on almost every show. So and people go, what, that's an A. So so what I'll do is for anybody watching, how it works is kind of our Hail Mary last chance round. If there's anything you think. I may not even go A tier for this one because our A tier is already so full. If you think there's anything hardcore that's an S, if you think anything left is an S tier, I may just limit it to that because we've already got 12 movies to choose from. An A tier, if something gets the bump. So I would go if you personally have anything else left on your personal S tier, go ahead and name it. And I'm looking for those crossovers to go back and give us our actual votes. So so shoot your shot. You can name as many as you like. And even if you agree with somebody that somebody else name it as well, so I get that crossover vote, if that makes sense.
What if we don't have any S tiers though? I only have A tiers left that I would nominate. So
you only have A tiers. Okay, I mean, if you got strong, give me
some strong ones. Yeah,
just give me your 3 or 4 strongest A tiers or something like that. I'd say, you know what I mean, or your couple of strongest ones. That's fine. But we'll go around. So we'll start with Jordan Owens. Any S's or very, very strong A's that you would vote for?
Yes, I'll throw out Galaxy Quest, The Jerk, Booksmart, and Popstar.
Yeah.
Popstar. And what was the other one?
Galaxy Quest, The Jerk.
Booksmart. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. And Popstar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got those 4. Got it. I'm just writing them down as we go. So, Mr. Barbera, what do you got?
Yeah, I'll go with Booksmart as well. I'll go Life of Brian. I'll echo Popstar and Coming to America.
All right, Austin.
No, I'm just writing these down. Hang on one second.
Yeah.
All right. I gotta write down my own as well as I say it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Animal House. I would go Hot Rod from the '90s. Really underrated, great movie. Life of Brian. I would also say that's my favorite Monty Python movie. And I might be on board for Pop Star as well. I rewatched that one recently, and goddamn, is that movie fucking funny.
Yeah.
So I'll say Pop Star as well. So
Nice.
those would be my four.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Jordan.
I'm seeing Chris in the chat room talking about horrible bosses.
Nah, not on this list. It's really funny, but I would not put it in S tier for a championship. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to nominate it just to show it a little love, but yeah. So I would say that one. I would probably say Robin Hood Men in Tights for sure. Then I would second Hot Rod, absolutely. Also Harold and Kumar, I would say, and I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay, so talk amongst yourselves. Give me a second to tally up the crossovers.
I'm glad.
So give me just. All right.
I'm glad Hot Rod got seconded because I totally
Yeah.
totally missed it on
Yeah,
the list.
yeah.
And even though it's
Yeah.
right there in front of me now, I'm glad
That's
it got
because you
seconded.
used to
It's
fight
solid.
with your
Yeah.
dad, right? In the backyard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
scene where he's just rolling down the hill for like a minute straight is just it's so
Yeah.
good. But
I don't think I've ever seen an A tier this full.
yeah, right.
We did for the horror episode because the horror episode was really good too. There's a lot of A tier horror movies that ended up.
I think I missed that one because I'm not as big of a horror.
Yeah.
fan.
The horror one was tough because we had a lot of big horror fans on there, and we had to be really
Nice.
nitpicky
Yeah.
about that one
Well,
as well. So hang on, I think I've got 5 total.
For the crossover, did you take Moose's and
Yes.
and Loma's
Yeah.
picks?
So I've got
Okay.
I've got their picks as
Okay.
well. I counted them. So
They're obviously not going to get a final say, but they'll get their picks.
yeah, actually, okay. So including that, I've actually got 1, 2, 3, 6 movies that we'd have to give a quick vote to. So, all right, that had things. So okay, so first thing we'll go with Booksmart. Booksmart had a couple of votes. So Jordan Owens.
S.
All right, Jacob.
Yeah.
S.
I've only seen it once, and awesome. I don't think it's an all-timer just yet. B.
Yeah, for me, I've seen it multiple times, and I think that it's great, but it's not an all-timer. So, and compared to this list, I would say C. So,
Jesus.
Just leave it where it is then.
Yeah, it's probably not even going to make the chart. Yeah, we probably won't even roll it unless it's kind of overwhelming.
Yeah.
And one of the links. So this is strictly both Moose and Lomas mentioned it, so we'll at least give it a nomination. Major League. So Major League, Jordan Owens.
Going by the Jordan Anderson logic, C.
Yeah.
Jacob.
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, go. For me personally, I know those guys are high on it, but I'd put it like B when it comes to this list. 80s comedies would be higher, but this list B. Jordan.
Oh yeah, for like a sports movie, like I'd rank it high as an overall sports movie. I'd probably make the S tier actually for that. But for this list, yeah, I'd probably give it about a B, I think. So
okay, so it's probably not going to make it because even with their 2 S's, it's not going to make it. So third one, I will go with. Is Barbara still with us, or did he just turn his camera?
I'm here.
Okay, gotcha. So we'll go with Hot Rod with Andy Samberg. 2 Andy Samberg movies are going to be up for votes, but we'll go with Hot Rod. Jordan Owens.
Yeah.
B.
Yeah. Jacob.
I just forgot to nominate it. S.
Yeah. Austin.
I fucking love Hot Rod, and I think it's the most underrated comedy of the 2000s. I've been a big champion of that, so I'll go S.
Oh yeah, and you know what? Like this one's hovering kind of like around the S and the A tier, but I really, really love Hot Rod. Like it's great. So I'm gonna say S. So
All right. Well, it's 3 out
Side up
of
to the
4
S,
now that
man.
we only have 4
Or like
people,
A.
so it's kind of a majority on the at least for as far as the panel we have. So
Yeah,
it might
I mean,
scoot in. I don't know. It's weird because we're down to
you can put it at
4
the bottom.
overall
Yeah.
votes, so we don't have 5 or 6 that we do.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you put it at the top
I don't
of A
know.
for now. I don't know, or do you want to put it in the
Yeah.
S? What do you want to do? That's the thing.
Again, it's 3 out of the 4.
Yeah,
now that we only
the
have
vast
4 people,
majority.
and it would be the same if
I
it
know.
was 4 out of
Yeah.
it'd be 4 out of 6 if we had 6. If I did the math, basically, so I would almost go yes. It's a majority for
Yeah, and it's a
this
little
this panel
unfair,
we have
but
left.
if you have to leave, and your vote doesn't count always for the time that you're gone. So yeah.
All right, well,
Yeah,
we'll go with the
I don't know.
other Andy Samberg movie, and we'll go with Pop Star. So Jordan Owens.
S.
I go
Jacob?
S. I'm gonna go S.
You know what? I was by myself
Awesome.
when I rewatched it, and I laughed out loud a lot, which is hard to do when I'm by myself. So you know what? I'll fucking vote the S too. I think it's as good as Hot Rod.
For me, like it doesn't even touch Hot Rod for me. I think Hot Rod's way better than Pop Star. So like I'm a lot lower on it. Sorry guys. Because I do love The Lonely Island though. All their like just some music. But for the movie, I gotta go like a C tier for me. So but it's still we'll still make it like into the A, I feel like. I mean with the very least.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe mid A's in the conversation, maybe, but yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
if it's gonna get very far. We'll see. Damn.
we'll see. Yeah.
All right.
You never know.
All right. Okay, so we got 2 more. We got Monty Python's Life of Brian. Jordan Owens.
B.
Jacob.
The more I watch it, the more it creeps up. I'm gonna go S.
Ooh.
It's I said it before. It's my favorite Monty Python. I think it's better than Holy Grail. S.
Man, like I hate to be the downer here because I watched it for the first time today. I did not get it. Like I was just like there's some fun. I don't know. Like
It's because he was making fun of religion. He didn't like that it was making fun of religion. So
No,
that's fine.
no, it wasn't bad. Like it was just boring. Like I was bored to tears. The only joke in like the whole movie that I even like is like how like they were going to see Baby Jesus at the beginning, but then they see Brian by mistake and then go to Baby Jesus. I thought that was pretty funny. But like beyond that, like man, this movie like might be one of the lowest on my entire list. So D. I'm not giving anything F tonight. I'm just gonna say D. So yeah.
Jesus.
That movie, ooh, it's boring. So, but I think it might even
All right.
No, you guys all gave it S's, right?
No, it was
Jordan
2
gave
S's,
it
a
a
B, and a D. So yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
All right, the last one will be because Moose mentioned it and Jacob mentioned it. Coming to America, Eddie Murphy. So Jordan Owens.
I actually agree. S.
S.
Jacob, yeah.
S.
You know what? I kind of feel like I voted for it on S and actually nominated it on that episode for Eddie Murphy. I think it's his best comedy, so I think he should be represented on this. So I'll go S as well.
Man, you guys are picking all the movies I just do not resonate with. Like I'm just, man, this is not going my way. I'm just like I
No,
don't
it's
really
not going
get-
our way because you keep dragging us down.
Well, I don't really get Coming to America. Like it's actually like as far as my thing, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th from the bottom of my entire list. So I would probably say D.
Jesus
I'd have
Christ!
to. Yeah.
Oh
like it's
shit!
And the sequel's even worse. The sequel would be an F if we had the sequel on here.
Well, I'm not voting on the sequel. I'm voting on the original, the good one.
Yeah.
I'm not voting on the sequel.
Like it just doesn't really do anything. Like I like, well, even the Golden Child way better than Coming to America, stuff like that.
Fuck that movie. That movie
Yeah.
sucks.
Oh, the movie's awesome. Yeah.
Smoking crack.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. But you guys all say S though, because if you all said S, we can put it in the A tier. I mean, I'm totally
Yeah,
I'm totally
but
cool with that.
your D's dragging it down to like the bottom of the A tier.
Yeah, but we'll put it there
Yeah.
just to like show it some love. Sure. Yeah.
All right.
I'm in the minority for it. So
All right. Well, that's all the crossover. So scroll up. I got to see what we got going on. So, all right. So we've got what eight in there. Okay. So we got two movies are going to get the bump, and then 3 movies will get the honorable mentions.
Yeah.
So, all right. So 2 movies are going to get the bump. maybe what we'll do is we'll go around and see what everybody would nominate for their 2 to get bumped into the S. And if we get some crossovers, maybe we'll roll with that. Or if we have enough crossovers to kind of do another vote, we'll see. We'll have to play this one a little trickier. But all right, Jordan Owens, if you had to pick 2 from that A tier to bump, what would you bump?
Anything from the A tier?
Pretty much anything from the A tier. Yeah, I mean, pretty much because a lot of
okay, thank you.
Yeah, right there.
All right. Let's go. 21 Jump Street and Happy Gilmore.
Okay.
It might be kind of tough because there's so many A's, so we'll see.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but see, Jacob doesn't like Happy Gilmore, so I'm kind of afraid that it's going to be a dead end. Jacob, what would you nominate?
We'll
see.
Happy Gilmore.
You know, I'm gonna play this kind of strategic.
Bitch.
Yeah, you kind of got it.
I'm gonna go with Spaceballs because I think everyone here is pretty high on it. Except for I don't know, but
yeah.
So I'll go Spaceballs, and I gotta show love to the Holy Grail.
Okay.
Yeah. Austin.
You know what? For purposes of getting Mel Brooks in there, I know my favorite is Blazing Saddles, but I'll roll with Spaceballs if we're gonna have at least one Mel Brooks represented. Sure. So I'll go Spaceballs to get a bump, and then I got to go Airplane. It's the goddamn best parody movie, Airplane. Yeah.
Well, for me, I gotta go. A hands down Wayne's World. It's number 2 on my overall list, so I gotta go Wayne's World. But then I'm also gonna go with Happy Gilmore. Like Happy Gilmore is 3rd on my list actually. So yeah, like I love Happy Gilmore. So.
Well, we had 2 that had crossovers, so it might be the 2 that get the bump, Spaceballs and Happy Gilmore. I'd be okay with Happy Gilmore getting a bump as far as Adam Sandler. Yeah. So and having Adam Sandler movie, I like that movie. I voted for S earlier.
Actually, kind of works. Yeah.
Okay. So now
Justice for Happy.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll deal with the S tier, the individual rankings here in a moment. We need to vote and see which 3 out of that A tier are going to get the honorable mentions. So 3 are going to get the honorables. Again, we may just have to go around the horn and see what everybody votes for and see how much have crossover. So I know it's a little painstaking process, but we'll make it. Jordan Owens, what would be your 3 for that top of the A tier?
Wayne's World, Coming to America, and Holy Grail.
Okay. Again, if it gets at least one crossover, you'll probably get it. So, Jacob, this might be your chance for Holy Grail.
Yeah, Holy Grail, Coming to America, and you know what? It's talked so highly of, and I feel like it needs to be represented, at least in the honorable mention. So even though I haven't seen it, I will go Airplane.
Okay.
That's a weird decision.
Yeah, right. That is a weird decision.
All right, Mr. D tier for...
No, but I'm not voting for movies just because I'm like, other people liked it, so it gets my vote.
Yeah.
Well, Jacob is correct. Airplane deserves to be on the honorable mentions. He is correct about that.
Austin.
Yes. So even though I disagree with Holy Grail, I'm okay with being an honorable mention. I'm not going to vote for it, but with it getting 2 votes, I'm okay with that. So I at least have some, sympathy for that. I recognize that. I'm not oblivious. I will go. I still got to stick with Blazing Saddles, even though it's a moot point at this one, and then I will go. You know what? Fuck it. Eddie Murphy deserves some love, so I'll say Coming to America. I think Coming deserves. Eddie Murphy should be in the conversation at least and have something in that.
Yeah. Well, for me, I got to give a vote to Wayne's World for sure. So that'd be my first, and then probably my other 2 would be National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And the 40-Year-Old Virgin would be my 3. So that's what I would go.
Well, I think oddly enough, I think we have our 3. We had 3 that had crossovers. So it's going to be Holy Grail, Airplane. Well, actually, no, we had 4. So shit, we might have to split the difference. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, we have 4.
We might have to vote on. We might have to do one more vote.
3, right?
Coming to America did. Well, Coming to America had. Oh yeah, Coming to America had 3. So Coming to America is in for sure. Coming to America is probably top of the honorable mentions. I had 3 votes because I voted for it. Jordan voted for it, and Jacob voted for it. All 3 of them voted for it.
You guys all voted for Coming to America?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wrote it down.
Ooh.
Yes.
All right. Whatever.
Yeah. Sorry, you're outvoted on that one. So
yeah.
Coming to America goes up there.
No, thank you on me. But yeah.
Okay. So out of Holy Grail, Airplane, and Wayne's World, they all had 2 apiece. So now we're going to go around and vote and say which one gets the bump out of the honorable mentions. Jordan
Which
Owens.
one gets the bump? Oh
And
man.
The
this
bump
is
out of it.
One more time, Grail, Airplane, Wayne's World, vote out.
Yeah, to vote out of the honorable mentions
Oh,
since
man.
they're all the same right now.
Airplane.
Okay.
Jacob?
Wayne's World.
What for a movie you've seen, dude?
Yeah, right.
I also go Wayne's World to get the bump out. I'm not as high on that movie.
Well,
Fucking
I'm gonna split the difference. I'm gonna go with Airplane.
Yeah.
Man, now we got a goddamn tie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy Grail made it, so I'm happy.
Well,
Yeah.
Holy Grail's Holy Grail
Grail's in.
stays. Holy Grail
Yeah, yeah.
stays. So now we're stuck on Airplane and Wayne's World because we got 2 and 2. Do we
Then
go to the chat? We go to the chat.
I say
Anybody
we
in the
go
chat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
so-
we can vote on who's actually
The-
seen the 2 movies and go by that.
Yeah.
No, we
how
go to
about
the chat.
that?
No,
Yeah,
to be fair,
yeah.
we go to the chat. We go to the chat.
Actually seen it.
Anybody in the chat right now, and all the votes. If you no, you're going to vote for what you think deserves to be in the honorable mention. Airplane, Wayne's World.
You just
Give
say
us
that
one
because
vote.
Jacob's never seen it though, so you're going to the chat, but he's never seen it, so he can't.
He voted for it.
Yeah, but
He voted for it.
though.
Oh, so it's
Yeah,
okay
yeah.
for tournament fights, but it's not
All right.
okay for this. Okay.
No,
Mm-hmm.
this is more realistic. I don't know. Like I just feel like that's just like a weird thing to do to just put a movie in there that someone hasn't seen. You know, we want to put a movie there everyone has seen. You know. But that's
I'm
just
just
me.
channeling my inner moose right now.
Mhm.
Also,
I
somebody-
already see it, guys. Unfortunately, it looks like Wayne's World.
I've already seen
lost.
Wayne's World too. Yep. Well, yeah, that was you. But then,
Jordan.
oh, but look at
No, Jacob West voted.
yeah. Look at
Yeah,
Jacob
but I see what you tried to do.
Yeah.
I got it too
I'm
late.
not
It didn't
falling
work.
for it.
I
I'm not
appreciate it.
falling
I
for it. We got
appreciate
Jacob
it
West
so
saying
much,
Wayne's
Jordan.
World, so yeah. So I feel like it's Wayne's World, like it's got to be.
But then we got somebody else that voted to kick Airplane and
That's the guy below
Who did?
me.
and
The
oh, that's
Pierce
you.
Co.
Fucking
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
yeah.
Okay, so
No,
okay,
Jacob
but
West
West,
voted.
That's Jordan.
So
Papa West
Airplane
was
wins.
to kick Wayne's World and vote an Airplane.
Airplane wins.
Yeah,
there
yeah.
you All right.
Yeah. So it's Wayne's World.
No, Airplane.
No.
Papa West voted to
Jacob
kick
West
Wayne's
said
World.
kick Wayne's World, so Airplane wins.
Kick Wayne's World. Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, you guys are
Now
killing
show
me. with this
the other
frickin'
comment.
Honorable
the other
mentions.
comments, say that.
Oh, this does not represent
yeah.
me. I will tell you that right now.
Well, I can put the user
God,
in
you
timeout.
honestly think Wayne's World is one of the 10 greatest comedies of
Oh, yeah,
all
Wayne-
time? Like
Yes,
an
yes,
all-time
it's one of the
classic.
greatest
Yes.
comedies ever made. It is freaking
Super
like laugh out
rewatchable.
loud hilarious.
Absolutely.
Like great music, great chemistry from
Mhm.
the 2 leads. Just like
You
there's
fall in
so
love
many
with Tia
moments in there.
Carrere.
Yeah,
The
it's-
chemistry between the
it's
2
so
leads.
fun.
No,
So great.
no.
What a
It's not
journey.
an all-timer.
Ed
Yeah.
It's
O'Neill's
not an all-timer.
hilarious.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Ed
never
O'Neill,
replace
yeah.
Happy Gilmore with the Wayne's World. I'd be okay with that, and just bump everything else up one. But we
Yeah.
got our cut. We got our 3. I'm good.
Yeah.
We got our 3. So
All right.
Like,
All right, well, let's-
high on it, but
Let's slide back up to the S tier, and we're gonna vote, or we're gonna see where the S tier ends up as far as our rankings of that. So let me.
all right, this one better turn out a little better. Let's see.
Yeah, it
right?
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Airplane is better than Wayne's World. Critically speaking, and everything is better than Wayne's World.
Mm,
But yeah, anyways, Moose and Lomas will both agree with me. That's why it should be in there because if they had
alright.
voted for it, they would have voted for it.
well,
Because
look,
they
Wayne's
mentioned
World
it for S
stays.
tier.
Now we got another vote, but it was too late. So yeah.
So, anyways, here's what we're gonna do. So let me look back through my votes. I'm gonna look through and see which ones basically had clean sweeps or close to clean sweeps, and those will be our top 3 or 4.
Okay.
So as far as that goes, Anchorman had a 5 clean sweep. So Anchorman's
Okay.
pretty up there.
I think Step Brothers
it's
had it too. I think.
Step Brothers had a 5 and 1A, so it's very
Oh, okay.
close. We might individually vote on it. We might go around the panel and vote on Will Ferrell. You know, like which one goes higher. We'll see. Hot Fuzz had a clean sweep, so Hot Fuzz will be up
Cool.
there. Tommy
Hot
Boy
Fuzz is probably
had
gonna go.
a
Yeah.
5 S's and a B, so that might stay in the fourth spot right there where it was because it had the one lower vote. Dumb and Dumber had a 4-1-1, so that might stay below Tommy Boy right there because that seems fair enough for that. What We Do in the Shadows had a 4-1, so it's kind of hovering around that same area. Ghostbusters had a 5 S's and an A, so it might actually slide up around Tommy Boy, or Dumb and Dumber,
maybe like right
just
there,
a little bit,
maybe.
somewhere around there. And then Hot Rod and Spaceballs and Happy will all be kind of in those spots. We may vote on them individually. We'll see. We'll come around to that and kind of see where they slide around. So what we'll do is. Let's first vote on what everybody would put as the number one Will Ferrell or the top of the Will Ferrell, Anchorman or Step Brothers. Jordan Owens, what would you go one or the other?
So that Anchorman was a clean sweep though. That one was only 4-1. So
yeah, there was only 5 votes as well. Step Brothers had 6 votes total. So
Anchorman only had 5 votes total.
Anchorman only had 5 votes because Lomas had bumped by then, so that's the only reason I'm going to vote because who knows what he would have said. I don't know what he would have said. And Step Brothers was when we still had the whole panel, and that one had 5 S's and an A. So now that he's not here, I don't know. So I was only going to do that to see which Will Ferrell everybody prefers. Here's your chance to pick. So Jordan Owens, would you go Step Brothers or Anchorman for your number one Will Ferrell? Not necessarily the number one movie, but Step Brothers or Anchorman?
Step Brothers.
Okay, Jacob.
Step Brothers.
Austin.
I might just by a hair also go Step Brothers.
And I'd also go Step Brothers. Yeah.
Okay, so Step Brothers might take the number one slot. Yeah. So I mean, again, that's why I do the vote. I just wanted to make sure. And then out of Anchorman or Hot Fuzz, would you go Anchorman or Hot Fuzz for the number 2? And this would be our top 3. So Jordan Owens, Anchorman or Hot Fuzz?
Hot Fuzz.
Jacob?
Hot Fuzz.
I would also go Hot Fuzz. It's in my 64.
I would also go Hot Fuzz. It's in my 64 too. So
all right, well, flip flop Hot Fuzz and Anchorman, and that might be our top 3 right there.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm happy with it.
So
I did not expect 3 2000s movies to be top 3.
Well, and it's funny because Hot Fuzz in our 2000s show was like number 9 out of 10. So some of these ones that were lower on the actual individual ones made it higher on some of these lists. So that's interesting.
It depends on the panel too. So
yeah. And let's see here. So we've got those 3. Is everybody okay with Tommy Boy, Ghostbusters, Dumb and Dumber, or would anybody want to dispute and vote differently on those?
Maybe Ghostbusters higher than Tommy, but
I'd go Ghostbusters over Tommy.
I'd go Ghostbusters over Tommy as well. I'd go 4.
I think we all agree.
For me, Dumb and Dumber is my favorite comedy of all time, so that one goes higher. But I mean,
I actually wouldn't put it above Tommy or Ghost. I wouldn't.
I would.
Me personally,
I wouldn't.
Yeah,
that's kind of split. So
yeah.
But we all agreed to Ghostbusters in the number 4 spot. I think that we all kind of agreed on that.
Well,
Majority did.
Well, no, I would put Tommy Boy in the 4th spot. Is where I would put it.
But 3 people, me and Jacob and Jordan all voted for Ghostbusters over Tommy
Majority,
Boy.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Tommy Boy, and then we gotta choose these ones.
Yeah, and then I think we kind of agreed What We Do in the Shadows had a pretty clean, so that'll probably stay exactly where it is. We were just going to vote on those last 3, the 8, 9, 10s. What would everybody's top of those 3 be? Jordan Owens, out of those 3,
I'd go Balls, Gilmore, Rod.
All right, Jacob.
Yeah. I'd go Spaceballs and
Balls. Sorry, that just sounded funny the way you said it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Balls, Gilmore, Rod. I'm sorry.
Balls, Happy or Hot.
Yeah. Balls, Happy, Rod.
I'd go Happy Gilmore, Spaceballs, Hot Rod. As far as all time.
I think I'd go Happy Gilmore, Hot Rod, then Spaceballs.
Okay, so that was kind of all over the place. Happy Gilmore might get a little bit of a bump, maybe a little bit.
I feel like
I'm fine with putting Happy Gilmore higher.
Yeah, I feel like that it goes right. Whoa, right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right there.
Despite my D vote for it.
Yeah.
That's because you were being a D when we voted on.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
And then out of those last 2, would you go for the 9 spot, Spaceballs or Hot Rod for that number 9 spot, Jordan Owens?
I'd definitely go Spaceballs by a good mile.
Yeah. Okay, Jacob?
I'd go Spaceballs.
Austin?
For all timers, I'm okay. I'm glad Hot Rod made it, but I'll go Spaceballs over Hot Rod. Yeah.
Well, I'd probably go Hot Rod, but it's pretty close. So I mean, I'm cool with Spaceballs. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well, we'll just flip those, and Hot Rod will squeak in at the 10 spot, which is fine for it. I'm happy I made it. And then there we go. That's our 10, and we got our 3 honorables. So there we go. Hey. But a lot of really good movies. It's a championship.
funny.
It's just tough.
Because as much as I complained about the honorable mention, I actually probably like Holy Grail the best of those 3. So like, I'm not really too mad about Holy Grail being in there. So.
Yeah, and again, I recognize that a lot of people like Holy Grail. I'm the outlier on that one, so that's fine. I'm fine with it being a honorable mention. So I'm cool with that. All right.
Yeah. Well, do you want to break it down, Austin?
Yeah, I'll break it down. So we've got our championship, and these are all the ones that will be in the. You can vote to your heart's desire tomorrow when we post the poll. So you can vote for your favorites. At number 1, we've got the Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly comedy Step Brothers. At number 2, we've got the Cornetto movie Hot Fuzz. At number 3, we've got another Will Ferrell with Anchorman: The Legend of Ron Burgundy. Number 4, the all-time classic Ghostbusters from 1984. Number 5, we got the Chris Farley classic Tommy Boy. Number 6, we got the Jim Carrey classic Dumb and Dumber. Number 7, a more recent film with Taika Waititi's What We Do in the Shadows. Number 8, Adam Sandler with a little bit of love for Happy Gilmore. Number 9, Mel Brooks will squeak in there with Spaceballs. And number 10, Andy Samberg's Hot Rod. And then our 3 honorable mentions for this evening are Eddie Murphy's Coming to America, Little Monty Python Love with the Holy Grail, and one of the great spoof movies, Airplane, will be our honorable mentions.
Yeah.
All right, good job, everybody.
Comedy championship is done. All right.
Nicely done. Hey, but honestly, depending on the panel, that whole thing between us, that could be a complete toss-up. It could be a whole nother list, depending on who's on the panel. Because we had a bunch of different panels for this one. It wasn't as consistent as our horror shows, where we had like Mark Edward Hoyk and guys like Viviani or Adam Collins. We had a lot some consistent people on that one. But yeah, it was this one was a little more all over the place each decade. But yeah, tough choices, but a lot of fun.
But we have everything. We have something from every decade in there, even with the 70s from Holy Grail squeaking in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Holy Grail 70s, right? Yeah.
That means nothing from the 60s or earlier was any funny.
Nope, it was not.
I know we got some grief from a couple of brief people, but we might eventually do a episode with like comedies like pre 1970, and we'll maybe play around with some of those.
I'm busy that day.
Yeah. But that might be one where
on the lower.
It's a tough episode to do.
I'm like it hot. Winner calling it now.
Yeah, right. But there might be a lot of movies that not a lot of people have seen overall. You know what I mean? That's kind of where we stop in the 70s, because it kind of gets a little muddled there as far as what everybody has seen. Yeah. I love me some John Candy. I wish more people liked Uncle Buck as much as I do. But
Nice Guys is great.
Into that movie. And I can't watch a music biopic the same ever since I saw Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. I think I should at least call that out for how funny that movie is.
Great.
Yeah, that movie's great.
Not that old.
Especially like you see the picture on Walk Hard with him like looking like Elvis, and then we got that new Elvis biopic. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to watch it with watching Walk Hard. Like,
true.
The same. It's like
Elvis.
Yeah.
Al Lerman.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we all have those movies that we just really love, and people agree with us. But then we have the movies we love, and like nobody agrees with us because comedy.
Where was Joe Dirt?
Comedy is the most. It was up for a nomination, but nobody nominated in that episode in the 2000s. So sorry.
One of the most objective genres that there is.
It's super subjective. Yeah, comedy is the most subjective comedy or subgenre you can get. So yeah, it's a tough one to get everybody to agree on, because what makes you laugh and makes you laugh.
Yeah.
Unintentional comedies.
Hilarious.
Yeah, right. Well, we'll close that out. That'll do it for us tonight. So yeah, that was a lot of fun, guys. So we'll have a few more of these coming up. We'll be doing action movies. We'll be doing some semi ones with like the One Crazy Night movies and the rom-coms and stuff that are kind of 3-parters, So yeah, it'll be fun to do. So, but thanks again, guys, for joining us tonight. And we'll just go around the horn, and you can get your plugs in, or if there's anything you want to shout out, you can do that. So we'll start with Jordan Owens. Where can we find you?
Yes, you can find me on multiple locations. The Pierce Code channel. We do movie trivia. We just had picks and lists earlier tonight, as well as my podcast, A Show About Shows. We review movies, the most recent releases, do some sort of top 10. Over at the Pierce Wrestling channel, we're about to celebrate the 200 episodes of Wrestling with Trivia. We're going to have a Royal Rumble sometime next week. Jacob, on our most recent episode, fought for the heavyweight title of Wrestling with Trivia. Did he win? I don't know. Tune in to find out, but he did not. Oops. Also, live exclusive matches that you'll only find on that channel, as well as wrestler podcast or interview a wrestler every week, and Real Pro Wrestling. We're March 19th in Ave Maria, but before that, March 12th, we will be in Fort Myers. And speaking of Fort Myers, maybe look on your TBS station tomorrow. You'll see me maybe in the crowd for AEW. I'll be attending that TV taping, and maybe some of those people will be there March 12th. Yeah, so get your tickets now. I know Jacob's coming. And speaking of Jacob, we have a podcast about wrestling. It's back, people.
Back.
After the hiatus, we have found a day that works until Jacob tells me the night before that he's not feeling it.
It's a bigger return than Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Right.
And then and I always love being on here whenever we can rank some movies, tier some movies.
Yeah.
Fight some
Yeah, it's fun
movies.
stuff.
Fight some movies.
Tournament, some movies, yeah, and all that stuff. Yeah. But Jacob, where can we find you?
Yeah, as Jordan just said, I just fought for the championship, and yes, I came up short. I'll spoil it. I came up short against who could arguably be the greatest wrestling trivia mind I know. It's going to be hard to beat him, but it was still a good match. It was still a fun match. Like I said, going into it, I had low expectations of winning. I had high expectations of fun, and that's what the match was. So,
Nice.
Yeah, check it out. Check out our podcast, a podcast about wrestling. We just reviewed the AEW Revolution pay-per-view from Sunday, and we both really enjoyed it. So if you want to hear our full thoughts, go check out that
I listened to that this morning. It was quite fun to listen to while I was walking my dog. So yes, I very much enjoyed it.
Yeah. So
I listened to it live. So yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be doing that. I think we finally settled on Thursday.
We saw your comment, Jordan.
So
yeah, right.
So
finally back.
from now on, every Thursday. We haven't discussed the time yet because
We have not. I noticed that. I meant to talk about that with you.
But we have settled on a day. We just need to settle on a time.
Yeah.
But Austin and I have settled on a day and time.
Yeah.
Well, sort of time. It's usually Saturday afternoons. Saturday afternoons for me, Saturday evenings for him. We have a podcast about movies. We just recently talked about some sequel recommendations that we wanted to talk about. Not your typical sequels, not your Dark Knights, your T2s, Godfather 2s, but just more ones that we feel don't get appreciated or enough love.
Give me one right now.
One that I brought up was Creep 2. I think Creep 2 is a really good, fun horror movie.
Nice.
That's
one
an
that
interesting one.
Austin brought up that I want to watch because he talked pretty highly of it was The Fly 2. So I think I'm in the marathon.
Okay, that's one I've never seen. All right.
I think I'm in the marathon
Yeah.
because I have the
The
collection.
Fly 2, and I love me
Check
some
them out.
Tremors, but I think Tremors 2 is damn fun as well. If you've never seen Tremors,
I'm a
2.
Tremors 7 guy, personally.
Oh yeah, I've seen all of them, but I just wanted to, and I'm high on Predator 2 as well. I've always talked about that, but yeah.
If you want to hear all of our recommendations, go check out.
But if you want to hear
episode.
all of them, go watch it because we had a lot of
Yeah.
fun going back and forth. And Jacob had some ones that he hadn't seen on my list, and I had one or two that I hadn't seen on his list. So yeah, that was fun.
Hunting 2,
Yes.
hunting season.
It's turned into more of a recommendation show than anything. But this Saturday will not be a recommendation show unless you haven't seen the movies on our lists because I probably will not be able to see the Batman this week, sadly. So our backup plan is we are going to rank each other's top 10s.
Yes.
So he will be ranking my list, and I will be ranking his list. And I think we only had one crossover, so
Interesting.
he omitted that for another pick.
Oh.
What was that pick? Find out Saturday.
You'll have to find
Tune in
out.
and
Yeah.
find out then, mother lovers.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I'm here when I can. I'm over on Jordan's channel. I'm doing trivia when I can. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
And I'm also a Tremor 7 guy. Whatever Shrieker Island with John Heater, that's a horrible piece of garbage.
Yeah.
But right? Yeah, they got a weird one with him in it. But anyways.
You're more of a Jamie Kennedy guy. We know.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Love
Yeah,
me some Jimmy
bloodlines.
He's
all that kind
Malibu's
of
most
stuff.
wanted.
Yeah, he is.
Why
But wore the
wasn't
shirt-
that on this list?
I wore the shirt in honor of Jamie Kennedy right here, so you know.
Oh yeah, that dude stabbed
Yeah.
him.
For sure.
Mhm.
Spoilers.
But
I'm
Austin,
sorry.
Yeah, we're having
Where can we find
we're having a
you?
good time. Me and Jacob on go check out that episode of a podcast about movies. That was a lot of fun. And yeah, like we said, we tried to keep it more of a positive, fun show. You know, recommendations and just chit chatting about movies we really like. And we might do the occasional negative thing, but it might be more in the context of like the Oscars got it wrong, you know, what we would have picked, you know, that sort of thing, you know, not necessarily talking about like our worst things ever or something like that, because we do enough of that on tournament fights or tier ranker fights and things like that.
Me
So
and
trying to
Jacob
keep
do
it
the same thing on wrestling unless we
positive.
talk about WWE.
Right, yeah.
But
well, it's
we're
hard
not
to
going to
not do
compare
that.
the two.
Not that we're comparing the two.
Yeah.
Well, why the fuck not? You should compare the two. I was saying that the whole time I was
No, we
listening to
do
it. Why
it,
not?
but then we just say
Yeah.
constantly that we're not, even though we
Right.
very much are. A lot of at least I
Well,
do.
it was much like our show. I wanted to keep it positive about AEW because that was the topic.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm mostly positive about
Yeah.
AEW. It was when WWE came up that I was like, woo!
But anyway, keep going.
But yeah, that show we're gonna do is gonna be a lot of fun. I'm watching one for the first time off of his list, and I desperately needed a rewatch of another one, so I did that yesterday. But yeah, that was a good time, and I hope he has enough time to watch the ones on my list, because I know he had a couple he desperately needed to watch or rewatch, but we'll see. We'll squeeze it in. The only thing I mentioned is tomorrow night, Henry Confidential, and I will be doing Let's Rank stuff, and we'll be doing a Mega Batman. Speaking of the Batman ranking, where we're going to be ranking 15 theatrical release Batman movies. So it's going to be like our biggest ranking we've ever done, and it's going to include the newest one. It's going to include the Batman, because we've both seen it 3 times. So I'm confident on my ranking now. I'm excited about that, and other than that, just those two, check them out. So, and Jordan, I'm sure Jordan will tell us about everything going on here on this network, on the Movie Hero Network.
Yeah.
So, hit it,
Well,
Jordan.
you guys thought that you guys had a hiatus. Me and Austin brought back a podcast we haven't done for about 6 months.
That's right.
Podcast League Now, which is kind of like a behind the scenes look like into our lives. We just kind of like have a conversation, just see where the conversation flows. We just kind of talk about like whatever just comes to our minds, like if there's some current events, some maybe movie news, and we get into a little bit of movies too. We talked about some movies that we watched recently. So on the last episode, which went up yesterday, so you can check that out. So and I'd like to try to do it weekly. For right now, I kind of have it as like a floating thing. Like whenever we have some extra time, we're just gonna do a podcast, because I know some of them, especially Austin, your schedule's getting like pretty full with all the stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll figure it out. But we'll I always try to make time for stuff like that. So whether if I gotta sacrifice some sleep, so be it. We do what we gotta do. We'll make it work. But yeah.
Because we also been.
It's fun to do.
Been talking about maybe another game show. We got some ideas floating around, so we'll see about that. But we got some ideas in the works. So yeah, just stay tuned. But and you can also find us on all the social medias at Movie Hero 2121. You can find the poll for this episode, the top 10 and 3 honorable mentions over in the Showdown Friends and Family over on Facebook. And I'm sure for that one we're gonna get a crap ton of comments of people just freaking out over what comedies we did not include, because comedy is so subjective. So that'll be kind of interesting to see what people thought that we left off for greatest of all time. But
no Dark Knight. Oh, wrong topic.
Yeah, right. No Dark Knight. Lost in the first round or second round, something like that. Yeah, but yeah, just a couple episodes we have coming up though. So this Friday, we're going to be doing Best Action Hero, so we got that one coming up. So just the like 64 most popular action heroes we could think of, that's coming up. And then we're continuing our Oscars series. So the next in our series is going to be 1991 to 2002. So we got that one coming up. We're going to talk about all the Best Picture nominees and throw them into the tournament fights bracket. And then the following Friday, I'm actually going to be out of town, so we're going to have to push this one back just a little bit, probably to like the following Monday, but it's going to be part 2 of our Best One Crazy Night movies because I'm going to a Utah Jazz game. They're playing the Clippers, so I'm going to go to that and then just go down and see some family for a little bit, so that'll be a fun time. So, and then we also have our Best Rom-Coms part 2, so that'll be the other part 2 episode that we have coming up. And then we also have our worst movies of all time. So these are the ones where, like, we personally, this is a very personal one. It's actually going to be a tournament fight to battle. So we're gonna everybody submit their like 12 worst or so worst movies of all time. So like if you had a bad theater experience, if you had a bad time watching at home, you were just super bored for whatever reason, then you can throw that on the list, and we're going to vote for the worst one. So the grand champion will be the worst that we all vote for, and then. We also have best video game movies of all time, which would be a little tough to come up with a best, but we'll see how it goes because there's some kind of like not so great video game movies out there, but but yeah, but that's a little preview of some stuff we have coming up. So if you hear anything that you want to be a part of, you can just let me know, and I'll let you know if we have some room left for and try and get you on. And if you have any ideas for any upcoming tier ranker fights or tournament fights, definitely let me know, and we'll try and do an episode. So we're always open to ideas, open to all kinds of guests. You know, we're very open to that kind of stuff. So yeah, but that's pretty much where you can find us. So yeah, I think that'll do it for us tonight. So yeah, that was a fun time. So for Jordan, for Jacob, for Austin, for Moose, for Brother Lomas, I've been Jordan Movie Hero Anderson, and we'll see you guys next time.